instrumental style.
What's going on out there, everybody, man? It is Friday at 8 p.m. and y'all know what time it is, man. It is not time for the best podcast. It is time for
the worst. The worst.
All right, and just letting everybody know we got a really, really great show planned for y'all today. But I'm gonna let my partner in crime introduce himself, man. Go ahead. What you got for us, man?
Okay, what's up, man? I'm trying to get that good view like you got, man. All close up and in personal with him and talking to him like this.
You good, man. You good. You good. You clear. Look like you still at the mansion.
Oh yeah, man. You know we done got to get that thing out, man. We can do some remodeling around that thing, put some goddamn glacier lights up. You know, they don't even know about glacier lights. I'll bring it up later on, but you know. But yeah, man. Same old two-step fucking with me, man. Another week, another day, another dollar to be made. Yeah. Good parlay going on tonight. Hold on, let me get this thing turned the right way. Hold on. But yeah, www.thatboybirdie.com. It answers all the questions. And I noticed everybody getting cheap again, so everybody must be broke again. Niggas want the $30 credit repair and all that. I'm like, bro, hold on. That's $1 a day, bro. You think somebody finna work for $1 a day, bro? You pimping me. You want me to change 30 years of damage for $1 a day, bro? That's pimping. But it's all good though. But those of y'all that's got your money saved up and y'all ready to do right by yourself, ready to live your life and change your life, this is what we got to offer for y'all. Let me see where we at on this thing. Hold on. Where we at? We trying to get y'all a look. Okay. Goddamn, that more.
All right,
okay.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. And real quick, man, y'all know who it is, man.
And my man, my brother, Kung Fu Fighting, Kung Fu Hebrew. Ho, 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 ha. Ho, 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 ha.
All right, man. We in there. Hey, real quick, man. Got a real serious topic for y'all tonight, man. We still going, we're gonna keep it live for y'all, man. We gotta hit some of these real issues because I know some people out there like, oh, but y'all just gonna be going in on women again. Y'all gonna be talking about the women, but nah, we are as we say, very versatile on this podcast. So we're gonna talk about I think a very important issue that's some causing some problems. But we got to figure out how we can get all this stuff turned around. And I think if we look at spirituality, or we look at what's going on within the church, within the Black community, especially within the Black church, maybe we might be able to get to some of the as my granddad would say, the root of some of these problems. So there will be no women's section tonight, because y'all know how we go. We get to talking, and we start talking about this. Yeah, I know it's gonna bring out some people. So we're gonna start the show off ready to go. So what I'm gonna do right now is this.
What you mean? It's a murder beat.
Would he do these things if he is a servant? And I say servant.
All right, so the link should be pinned in all of the chats or whatnot, so you see if you want to join into the conversation tonight, man. We should have everything locked in real quick, man. So whew, man, we got a deep topic tonight, man. I want to get your thoughts first before we kind of get in. Is there anything specific that you want to address before we really start deep diving into some of these things, or what would you like to start off with tonight? Let's do that.
Oh yeah, let me drive this truck tonight for a little minute, man. Let me make sure I'm trying to get this lighting right for y'all, man. I don't want y'all to be looking at nothing blurry, too dark, and then we ain't in the cut right now. I just want to get everything.
I mean, right. Blurry. You look fine to me. I don't see it.
Okay, well, we good. I'm gonna goddamn turn it up in another minute. We're gonna turn the red light special on or something in a minute. So you know what I'm saying. But yeah, we gonna start tonight off something like this. Could we? Hold on. Can you pull up the top 10s or top 11 situation for me?
You said pull up the top what now?
The top 10s going on the slides.
Oh, on the slides?
Yeah, hold on. I'm echoing too.
I don't see no slide to say top 10. You talking about oh, never mind. I know what you're talking about. You talking about on the brand?
Nah, I was talking about in the damn. It ain't in the what's the name? Oh shit.
Yeah, you said top 10. Yeah, I don't see nothing. I see Rick
top
Ross,
11.
Serena. I don't see no top 11.
In the slide section. Oh shit.
Yeah, like, you put that in, that's why I'm looking. I'm like, man, I don't see that. I see mine. I see about two Drakes. I see a couple of Masters. I see a lot of stuff, man. That's what I'm saying. You said top 11. I don't know.
But I was talking about the slides. So the slides ain't on there. I gotta goddamn get them in now. Okay, I got you. Okay. But I want to start off. I was just saying with the good reviews of the Kendrick Lamar situation and shit, man. I thought they say they still saying that boy the K dot the one and shit, man. That's all I'm trying to see. What is we thinking now? Is Drake the number one contender still or what?
I mean, I don't know. I would put it to you like this. I thought it was kind of one-sided at first, but I'm kind of changing my mind a little bit on the whole Drake situation, only because I heard some of the original ones that Drake had, and I didn't know allegedly. So Kendrick Lamar was beating on his wife.
Allegedly,
okay. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was kind of that was kind of I ain't gonna say a win, but you know what I mean. That was a decent for him to say. You know what I'm saying? So let's see.
That's a good situation. That's good. That's a good comeback.
But I mean, you know, you already know, man. Since you had to put up the your boy Lil Uzi skirt last week talking about the dark skinned people, you know, I automatically had to go with my brother Kendrick because you know, it ended up being light skin versus dark skin. So man, you know, man, Kendrick, I mean, but this is something, and me and my boy had a conversation about this. Even though I think Kendrick is talented, I listen to way more Drake than I do Kendrick. Like Kendrick ain't really on my playlist like that. Like I'm trying to think outside this album.
Party songs for everybody and shit.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Drake make hits, so that's why I'm like, I listen to a lot more Drake than I do Kendrick. I mean, honestly, like I'm trying to think about the last. I mean, I'm going back to like,
are they hits?
First came up.
Are they songs or are they hits? You say make no hits.
All the Kendrick stuff that I listened to was everything you probably hear on the radio. You know what I'm saying? What was it? The little swimming pool. What was that called? Drake. Shot Drake.
But this is about lyricism, bro. This is about lyricism.
Oh yeah. Now I know that part. That's what I'm saying. I still respect Kendrick, but I was thinking about it and I went to my playlist. And man, I had like 2 Kendrick Lamar songs on there. I mean, but I had like 20 Drake songs.
People weren't ready for that though. They weren't ready for K-Dot like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not knocking his talent. All I'm saying is that, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, and it tie into what we talking about tonight, man, because you know, Kendrick has aligned himself with the Hebrew Israelites, and
right, he's not black. He's not black.
Yeah, and Drake has called himself Jewish, right? And you want to go ahead and take a look at that video, or you want to? What do you want to do? We want to do? You know,
I'm gonna take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at
Drake being Jewish, because this is another thing I got to explain to y'all. And this is something that I need y'all to be thinking about, because the purpose of this show tonight, and I want everybody to understand, it's not to bash Christians. It's not to bash anybody of faith. It's like, what is the old boy name? Dan Calloway. He said, "I'm just here to make you think." So my question is, we have to think about our spirituality. You understand what I'm saying? And you have to make it make sense. If I'm reading Lord of the Rings, right, and it's got all the characters in Lord of the Rings, and then somebody come in and say, "Oh yeah, Frodo had a machine gun," it's like, what? How they got a machine? They're shooting bows and arrows and swords. What do you want a machine? You can't just add in what you want. So
right.
As we go through some of this stuff tonight, I want y'all to really, really think about what you learned, because the same way we can go back in history and understand how we learned that improperly, is it quite possible that we learned our spirituality, or if we're going to talk about the Bible, God, capital G-O-D, as people like to say, which I've already said multiple times, who don't exist, but we know who we talk about when we say God, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. So let's look at Drake, and let's see, because this is the thing, right? For those who know, the Bible is what we call a patriarchal book. Okay. It wasn't bad.
Don't even play like that.
So the Bible is a patriarchal book, meaning that the succession or the lineage goes through the father's side. But if you know anything about the Jewish community, you are Jewish based on your mother. So even though Hebrew Israelites would say Drake is black because his father's from Memphis, Drake would say he's Jewish because Jewish people go through the matrilineal side, which is odd because it's opposite of the Torah, but we got to get to that. So let's just see what.
But hold on. Then it's a big debate about the ish. If it's Jewish, so should he be able to say that? Because I made a post. Should he be able to say the N word?
Okay. Now,
I mean, it's Jewish.
But there's a lot of questions on that, right? Because you do understand that the letter J wasn't created till like the 1500s, right?
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, you're calling yourself a word that did not exist back in that day. So we got to really start to understand what we're talking about, what we're looking at, and really start to break this stuff down. Because if you don't think for a second, like I said, you got to be able to, take all your religious stuff off for a little bit and just think. Ain't nobody trying to make you lose your religion. Nobody's trying to do any of that stuff. When we start going through these slides, when we start going through these different things, the reason why people, we just trying to show y'all, this is the reason why people are leaving the church. This is the reason why the black community is starting to go towards these other things. They talking to rocks. You understand what I'm saying? They would rather talk to a crystal.
They doing what? They rocks.
They asking the crystal about what they supposed to do. Should they date? Crazy stuff, right? So we know all these alternative stuff, but let's talk about Drake and see what he said, because this is out of his mouth. We don't got to prove nothing. Let's see what Drake say about who he is.
Jewish. Yeah. You, on the other hand, but he wasn't there. He didn't read his portion. First of all, you didn't have a bar mitzvah. Come on, are you serious? You had a hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Just tell. You don't understand how big you're about to be in the Jew world. Right? You don't understand how big.
Oh, and one more thing. I mean, one more thing. Did you know that it is we doing this in Jewish Heritage Month? Did you know that this is Jewish Heritage Month? May allegedly, apparently.
Yeah.
Jewish Heritage Month. You knew that?
Yeah.
You got
perfect episode.
You got a blue background on your Facebook profile to show your support.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, this is Jewish Heritage Month.
It's the ish, bro. The ish, they said, don't relate to us. Or do
we gonna get to it, man. We gonna even talk about the ish tonight, because there's another part of this whole scenario that I think a lot of people are missing, which the ish doesn't make sense, but we'll get to it.
Well, I live in an all-Jewish area, so
where is that?
Forest Hill.
Okay.
I went to a predominantly Jewish school growing up. I definitely had a bar mitzvah in an Italian restaurant, mind you.
Okay, so he had a bar mitzvah. Okay, for those who don't know, the bar mitzvah I believe in the Jewish culture is your rite of passage. It's like you're coming into manhood, right? So it happens, I believe, around 13 or 14 years old. Once again, this is another tradition that is nowhere to be found in the Torah or in the Bible or even in the Tanakh. But we have to see, this is the thing that I want people to start to understand, right? Because you either believe that we monkeys, right, and we evolved from single cell organisms, or you got to have some sort of spiritual alignment, believe in a creator. You got to be on one level. So we either monkeys, you believe we descended from monkeys, or that single cell organism that just kept changing, or you got to believe in some sort of higher power, the creator God, whatever you want to call him, right? So this is what I'm saying. And this is what, once again, you got to be able to think about. Why is it that it looks like we started somewhere? Because I know me and Bird was talking about this earlier. Why don't nobody ever challenge the new thing, right? We complain about all these new genders we got now, all these new sexual preferences that we got now, all the different things we got, right? But when it comes to spirituality, nobody questions anything. You hear this new stuff, right? Because my whole thing was, once again, you got to understand, and I got the sources for it as well. But some people talk about the Bible. First of all, you got to understand the biblical story. Noah wasn't reading the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? Moses wasn't reading the Bible. Neither was David, neither was Solomon. None of these people. When you pick up the Bible, it's like when we grew up. You remember the No Limit compilation CD? You might have Fiend, C Murder, Magic, and everybody on there, right? So basically what they did was they took all of these scrolls, all of these scriptures, and they just combined them. And that's what the Bible is, because the Bible only means book. That's all it means. So when you put holy in front of it, it just means holy book. So people got to understand what you're reading. So everything is separated. And I don't know why somebody would be calling me like they don't know I'm doing the show, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? So hold on, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. See?
Damn, tell him let up, bro. Tell him hit that. Then you'll be
hit the link or something. You calling me personally, but this is the thing you got to understand. You got to understand how the Bible is broken up. All right. The first part is the Torah, or the law. So that's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. That's the Torah, right? Then after that, you have the different sections. So you got the word of the prophet. So that's going to be your Isaiahs, your Ezekiels, your Jeremiahs. You got the Chronicles of the King, 1st, 2nd Samuel, 1st, 2nd Chronicles, 1st, 2nd Kings, all of those things. Then the rest of it is pretty much just the word of the prophets. You got Proverbs in there, Psalms. When you get to the New Testament, you have the Gospels of Jesus Christ. You got Acts. And then everything else, you're just reading letters that Paul, for the most part, Paul was writing as they were trying to get the church set up. So a lot of people, some people might not know, but it's not like God sent down sacred scriptures and people just started reading them. Oh my God, who is calling? Hold on one second. So that's what it is, man. So I'm just letting you know, like, if you didn't know that already, that's how the Bible is broken down. The Bible isn't a book that was created, it was compiled. So you need to first of all understand that. And we're going to get into who compiled it. And then you need to be able to understand what was the purpose of compiling it to begin with. So let's keep going.
My lord.
Yeah. A nice Italian restaurant?
A very nice Italian restaurant. The song of the night was Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way.
You are younger than me. I forget about that.
Yeah, man, I was in there. I was in synagogue. I had my yarmulke on.
Hebrew school, the whole nine? You did? No Hebrew school?
All right. There's another part, man. The yarmulke. Where did that come from? You understand what I'm saying? David didn't wear no yarmulke. Abraham didn't wear no yarmulke. This is some new stuff that was added in. And you got to ask yourself, why do they do these things? Well, you know, you've never seen Jewish people walking around and you never said, like, where's that at in the Bible? Where's it at in the Torah? Show me a yarmulke in the Torah. Can't do it. Show me a yarmulke. Go ahead. What you got?
See, that's just like you said earlier. That's what you got to focus on, the timeline. That's what I love to focus on, that timeline. Even though we ain't gonna get all into that tonight, too deep. No diddy. But that's the thing. The timeline is what's crazy, because when they start bringing all of these new traditions into the, you know what I'm saying? And when they branch off, that's a big determining factor about because we still, you know, my whole outlook right now is the ish.
Yeah.
Because I was
focused on the ish all night. I hear you.
Because I was cussed out all week when I posted this right here. I was saying, Jews, I just wanted to trigger it because I'm saying Jews versus Jewish, right?
Okay.
Because they can say nigger. They can say the word nigger. I'm asking, am I wrong for asking this question? Or am I speaking to the wrong branch of the ish?
No, my thing is this though, right? The way we work is we would say only black people can use the word, right? That's the only people. I know some people don't mind, in quotation mark, Hispanic people using it, because you see people like Tekashi 6ix9ine saying it with no, you know, people got on what's the other
I think it's a problem a little bit though. I think it's a little bit of
well, I think it's a problem, right? Because he identifies as Jewish. He didn't identify as black. He either identifies as mixed or he identifies as Jewish. But the problem you have to understand is he didn't grow up with his father in Memphis. He grew up with his Jewish mother. So that makes him different. And then, like I told you, in the Jewish culture, he is Jewish through his mother's line. The father don't matter. So I would say, no, he can't use it because he identifies as being Jewish. If he was mixed or he identified as being mixed, I would say, okay, it's cool. But because you identify as Jewish, it's kind of off limits. It's like, can we call them the K word? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, y'all. We gotta be fair.
And look, what confuses me even more. Wasn't Kyrie made apologize for similar actions just for even saying a black person is a Jew? I mean,
remember, they got on Kyrie for liking a video.
Yeah, but what was
insinuated?
What was the premise?
The premise of the video, or the premise of why they got on Kyrie? What you mean?
Both. I mean, because I'm saying the video, we gonna say it was saying Hebrew to Negro.
Absolutely.
And I'm saying with him, what is he having to apologize for? What's the ground?
But that's the thing, though, right? He's supposed to be made to apologize for a video, right? Now, I've seen the video, or whatever the case may be, and I'm not here to co-sign or to say that I agree with the video or I disagree with it. I mean, somebody would say, well, your name's Kung Fu Hebrew. What does that mean? We ain't here to talk about it tonight, so don't worry about that. You understand what I'm saying? You should know exactly what it means. I can explain it, but I'm like, see, I don't follow the Bible. I follow the Torah and the Tanakh. That means I basically deal with the Old Testament, right? So, and I like the old, right? Because once again, when you get to this new stuff, it's always something extra. You understand what I'm saying? It's like you got to understand everything on the planet, when some new stuff get introduced, it's always some problems. Like everybody was cool for centuries, man. We got swords, we got bows and arrows, and all of a sudden with the invention of gunpowder, it's a whole new ball game out there with the warfare. You understand what I'm saying? So we've been doing the same thing spiritually. It's like, if you believe biblically, if you believe in the Bible, then you're supposed to believe in creation. You're supposed to be a creationist, right? So we had, and I'm just gonna use God right now, just because everybody know. I know we're gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna get to the name of God later on. But right now, God is, as our Christians love saying, capital G-O-D, right? Or like somebody who I used to hear say Father God. They used to annoy me all the time. I used to hear people say Father God because I'm like, that's still nobody. But anyway, here we go.
Okay.
You had God.
We'll get
See what I'm
to
saying? You had God. Then you had creation.
So what? So hold on. So what do you want them to say, brother? What do they need to be identifying this person or this essence?
No. See, this is the thing. Wait, what do I want them to say? I want them to say his name. He was very specific about what his name was. It's like this. If your name was Birdie and I just kept saying bruh, you might as well just put bruh on. We might as well just put no Kung Fu, no Birdie. Just put bruh. Because God is generic. And adding a capital letter to it is still generic. And I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. And I'm going to say it again. There is no deity on the planet named God. Please understand what I'm saying. There is no deity on the planet named G-O-D. Every single deity on the planet has a specific name, but when it comes to the most important one, we just want to get generic and just say capital G-O. You go to Egypt, you got Osiris. You go to India, you got Shiva. You go to Greece, you got Zeus. You go to the Nordic region, you got Thor. You got Odin. You understand what I'm saying? You get into the Africans, you got Anasazi. You got Ogun, people like that. They all got specific names. Specific. Because my whole thing is you gotta be specific. Y'all don't never be. Y'all make sure y'all specific when y'all say Jesus, right? So why are y'all so casual when y'all talk about God? You understand what I'm saying?
They say they trying to figure out what's his name.
We gonna get to that. So y'all can get to that in the first hour. Y'all gotta hang around. But his name is not God. That y'all gotta understand. We speak English, right? It's like my wife, man. She's Dominican, right? So in God in Spanish is Dios, right? They love saying gracias a Dios. They love saying that, right? That's the whole thing. Gracias a Dios. Gracias a Dios. I get
Gracias a Dios.
understand this too. Dios ain't his name either.
Right.
It's just his name in Spanish, because if you go to Japan, it's gonna be something different. I think in Japan, God is Kame. You understand? Yeah, it's Kame. Yeah.
Dios.
So if I'm praying to Kame and I'm in Japan, you telling me that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob hears me when I'm praying to Kame? No, because he told you specifically in the book what his name was. But we still decided to keep saying, "Oh, I worship." You know, like we gonna get. Well, I'm gonna go too far if I start talking about the Muslims right now. But we gotta get it, because I'm gonna tell you, at least the Muslims call him something specific. Allah is not God in Arabic. It is a specific title and a name. But we gonna get to that later. Y'all gotta stay tuned and pay attention. All right. So yeah, he should not be using the N-word because he identifies as being Jewish. Period. Point blank. Bottom line.
Okay.
Let's see what else he got to say. Let's go ahead and finish this up.
I cheated. I didn't really.
So you just that no. Your parents are nice.
Yeah.
So they let you do the bar mitzvah without having to do the fucking Hebrew school. So your mom's Jewish.
My mother is Jewish, and you know we have great Jewish dinners like Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur.
First time.
All right. So once again, you got Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Once again, he is celebrating these Jewish holidays, Jewish traditions with the Jewish food, right? Because they need to understand that all those things are different too. You know, all the matzah balls and all that other stuff. That's once again, that's Jewish. Okay, so you are very wise to focus on the ish part of it, because we got to get to that part too. Because let's just go ahead and get this out of the way real quick, right? Does everybody in the audience even understand why they call themselves Jews? Do you understand why they call themselves Jews?
Jews or Jewish?
Either one. Where does the term Jewish come from?
Shit. No, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what they really playing a cross between it because they claim it comes from all about Africa and the African lands. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
So like I'll just give you a quick little example. A person from Sweden is Swedish. A person from Finland is Finnish. So when they're talking about they are Jewish, you got to be honest, it's problematic, and I'm going to explain to you why.
Yeah, it is problematic.
If you know the history of what happened in Israel, then you got to understand there was a civil war in Israel, and it split into the northern kingdoms and the southern kingdom. So in the northern kingdom, you had the kingdom of Israel. In the southern kingdom, you had Judea, and that consisted of Judah, Benjamin, and some of the tribe of Levi, and the other 10 tribes were in Israel. So a simple question is, well, why do y'all automatically identify with Judah? How do you know you're not Benjamin? How do you know you're not some of those Levitical priests? Now, some people say if you got the last name Cohen, that means you were Levi. I ain't going there yet either. But what I'm saying is the term Judah comes from Judea because they were in the land of Judea. You had Israel on the top, and then you had Judea on the south. Israel went into captivity by Assyria, and Judea stayed. The other 10 tribes, we don't know where they are, period. They went into captivity, never came back. So then, that's the reason why they call themselves Jews, because they're supposed to be from the land of Judea. But my question is, since Israel got taken out, and they went into Assyrian captivity, never to be heard from again, how in the world, or why is that place in the Middle East called Israel? Because if Jews are the only ones returning back, it should be the state of Judea. Oh Lord, here you go. Oh no. But does that make sense though?
No, for sure. Hold on. I'm letting you get it off your chest. So, but what I'm gonna say is this.
Okay.
What people were those? From the Judean people, if we'll say.
Like, you talking about Jewish or you talking about Judeans?
No,
two different people.
See, that's what I'm trying to say.
We're gonna move slides out if you want me to break that down.
Judean, but where did the mixture come in at? That it turned to, I mean, what were these people? Were they brown people? Were they white people? Were European?
This is the question you got to ask yourself. And if you at home, this isn't something y'all need to just look at. And I just want people to understand, because once again, even though I call myself a Hebrew, I'm not going to start being like them cats y'all be sitting on the streets, yelling, calling you. I'm not going there tonight, right?
Yeah.
But I just want you to understand something simple. Look at Israel on the map. It's right next door to Egypt. If you go through the Bible, let's rewind the tape. Abraham went into Egypt. Isaac went into Egypt. Joseph went into Egypt. Joseph was second in command to the Pharaoh. You understand what I'm saying? Moses was raised in the house of Pharaoh. Jesus, right? When Herod wanted to kill Jesus, where did Jesus and them go to flee? They fled into Egypt. So you have to ask yourself, how could Jerry Seinfeld flee into Egypt to try to hide if he looked European? Because some people now, if you kind of smart out there, you'd be like, hold on there, Kung Fu Hebrew. Wasn't the Ptolemies reigning right there? And I would say, of course the Ptolemies were reigning. Oh Lord, you gonna keep doing this all that. I would say, of course the Ptolemies. But just because that is the royal family, that don't mean that's what the regular people were. What are you saying?
No, I'm just saying that's a damn good perspective. They talking about I'm reacting funny. Yeah, but because it's real shit. I like that. How could Jerry Seinfeld be dropped off in Africa? That's a damn
hide out. Y'all, they was going, because if you know the story says what they wanted to kill all the children under the age of 2, I believe. So they Mary, Joseph, and Jesus fled into Egypt to hide. And you gonna tell me, and we seen the pyramids, we seen the walls of the pyramids. If you telling me the people who are calling themselves that, even somebody like Drake got a better he got a better chance, and I'll show you some evidence of that later on. Because they say some of the Semitic people would technically look like Drake, but
I mean that's because he got a black daddy, bro. Of course.
And once again, we got to get to that story because that's the other part that people got to understand. And this is what I need my Christians to think about. This is what I even need the Jewish people to think about. Everybody. Jacob. Remember the story of Jacob and Joseph. Jacob and Joseph, and they all went into Egypt with 70 people, right? And some people say 400 years later, some people say 200 and something. But when Moses took them out, it was 1 million people. So my question to you is, and we see how this looked today, how could 70 people go into Africa, stay there for 400 years, or however many years, I ain't here to debate the number of years, and then come out looking like Jerry Seinfeld? Who was they mixing with?
Yeah.
Because we see what happened every time somebody is mixed, right? If you even touch a black person, they already coming out Drake, like they already coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they had to have mixed with the Egyptians, because otherwise, are you trying to tell me they only had incest? Because they weren't even a nation yet. So who did those 70 people mix with when they went into Israel? When they went into Egypt. That's a question you got to ask yourself. It's not to tell these people who they are not, or whatever the case may be. Once again, we got to think about this logically. That's all I want people to do. But let's finish the Drake up real quick, because I know you posted something very spicy on the timeline, but let's get to it.
Next message you ever sent me. Good Shabbos.
Yep, good Shabbos.
He kept it real.
Yep.
Have you gotten approached yet by like the Jewish media?
No, I haven't gotten approached by the Jewish media, but somebody today, who I won't mention, was like, you know how big you're gonna be? And I was like,
wait, was that me 5 minutes ago? Or 5 minutes ago? I remember saying that.
Somebody's like, you know how big you're gonna be? And it's like, this has never happened before. It's like every Jew is going to just like really embrace.
Well, here's the thing.
I mean, is Drake prophetic? Was he right? He's right.
Yeah.
He's huge, right?
He did that.
So do you think it?
But what we saying is we didn't get to this. See, that's why I say we jumped out, and then I didn't even put my clips up. I can't believe I didn't do that. But boy, y'all had to go on a journey with me. But I'm
saying, just talk it out, man. What's going on?
Oh no, it was a lot of good shit though. But we might skip past all of that anyway. But I'm saying is that isn't those the actions of a colonizer? As was stated in the song, you portraying as doing something else to work against the black people when you really not identifying with the black people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can dig that, and that's my thing, right? He didn't come off as being this Jewish rapper. He just came out to be, like you say, this singing rapper he came out being a black dude from Toronto. Let's be honest. And to me, I feel like what we're seeing here is what the ultimate code switch. Because that Drake right there, that ain't the Drake. That ain't the Drake on all these songs that we listen. Come on now. So
yeah,
I think it's something to think about, man. But let's finish this up. Let's go. There are Jews like my dad who like cling to like the biggest reaches. Yeah. Like, you know who's Jewish? Matt Damon. I'm like, no, he's not, Dad. He's definitely not Jewish. And like people reach, and the fact that you actually identify, that's gonna be like, that's gonna be big. Yeah, it's gonna be big. You're doing something that I could never do.
Right. So right there, y'all heard it from his mouth. He identifies as being, or back then he identified as being Jewish, right?
Yeah.
So real quickly before we start really, really getting into it, now we about to really talk about why black people are leaving the church. And even in the comments, if you want to call in, or if you just want to say in the comments, if you used to be a Christian or you used to be a person of faith, but now you practice something else, man, put it in the comment section, man. Let us know, are you a Christian? Are you a believer? Are you an atheist? What are you in the comments, man? You understand what I'm saying? Because I think sometimes people don't really understand what we're dealing with. But We're gonna go to a little quick commercial break. We gotta pay the bills, man, and I gotta support my family, man. So once again, if you are in the Metro Atlanta area, off of Noah's Ark Road, y'all know that the Worst Podcast is always supported by Southern Fusion Bistro. Oh yeah, man. Then real quick before we get in this, man, we're gonna go ahead and do some shout outs, man. Shout out to everybody checking in. What's tonight, man? We see Douglasville in the building, we see Ghana in the building, we see Atlanta in the building, we see New York in the building. Who else we got out there?
Throw your hood up in the comments. Y'all there pulling up, man. Where you calling from? Where you checking in from? Let us see your face or something. Say something, man. Tell them you come calling a trailer park with one window and two cats in the back, man. Let us know something, man.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate y'all checking in. But like I said, man, we about to get into it right now, man. So let's go ahead and get to it, man. Let me pull this up. All right. So why black people no longer going to church, man? I think it's a lot of different reasons, man. But I think I know I don't go to church anymore, right?
Right.
And I stopped going to church probably 8 years ago. And I'm gonna ask you, did you ever go to church?
Yeah, I don't went to church. You know, back in our time, we were forced at first. You had to go. Yeah, especially us that were raised with our grandmamas and shit like that. You're gonna have to go Wednesday to a little Bible study or something.
Bible study on Wednesday.
You know what I'm saying? So it was at least a foundation because it wasn't no iPhones, it wasn't no Instagram. So the women were at least going to Bible to get out Bible study or church to get out the house. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we'll go. But but I want to add to that, as an adult, I also went a few times to try to see what's going on, see if you get the connection. But then I noticed, whatever you believe, you're going to get that feeling wherever you believe, because you could go Muslim, Judah, Buddha, Christian, Jehovah's Witness. You can go out. You're going to get that tingly feeling in every church, every building, every mosque. You know what I'm saying? So now that's the question, though. You know, what's the deal?
Yeah, and I mean, and for those who don't know, I mean, my father is a pastor. I grew up in the church. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in the church. You know what I mean? My whole life. Yeah. And it's a situation for me. It was a very difficult situation for me because not going to church anymore was very hard to me because, like, you know, first of all, you had to, you know, when you stop going to church, it's like, oh man, you like, now you be thinking, well, I'm a sinner now, I'm going to hell now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happens now that I'm no longer going to church? But then
that was like, 8 years, that's just 8 years ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The last time I was physically in the church was probably when my dad, right before my dad stopped having the church that he was up here, you know what I'm saying, before he moved out to Augusta, you know what I'm saying. So I would say, it's probably been about 8-9 years, man. And you know, sadly to say, I was in the church, but I've been in the church for funerals. So outside of funerals, man, I have not been to church, period. But the reason why I stopped going, I'll just say why I stopped going, is just because, number one, my questions weren't being answered, and number two, I felt like church people were some of the worst humans on the planet. And I was like, but it makes no sense though, because if you believe what that book says, there's no way you should be a terrible human being.
Right.
And some of the they would say, or I got tired of all the theatrics, all of the, you know, and this and that, and that. It became
don't ask no questions.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't
ask. What part of the book? What part of the book? And I'll ask anybody in the audience. Scripture and verse says that we're supposed to be entertaining you. You understand what I'm saying? I'm coming here to learn. I want to get close to the guy. I want to increase. You know what I'm saying? I'm there to learn, but I'm just getting entertained. You're telling me a story. It's like, I used to laugh, and this used to be my joke that I used to say about most churches. I said most churches is one scripture, and then the pastor gonna talk for 45 minutes if you're lucky. But most churches 2-3 hours. He'll come in there and say, open your Bibles to Genesis 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And let me tell you about Jesus. And it's like, what? I didn't ask to be yelled at.
There's some good games fitters.
Man, but that's not. We gonna get to what the church is not supposed to be, because the people over here in Ghana who are watching the show right now, they'll tell you, being an apostle, being a so-called prophet, you'll have these people coming around in Africa saying, hey, look, buy these prayer towels. If you pay $5 for this prayer towel, whatever you ask God for, it's gonna come for. It's become big business. And you got to ask yourself one question. Where in the Bible does it say church is supposed to be a business? Where is the church in the Bible?
Hey, well, I don't know. You shot it one race right then. You know they got Peter Popoff. He got the holy water for sale too now. At 3 a.m, you never gonna miss a Peter Popoff show. And I done seen people sucked into. They're like, I gotta give me some Peter Popoff water.
But once again, you got to ask yourself a question. And this is all I want to get people to understand, because I'm going to ask you a question. Do you believe in a higher power?
For sure.
Okay.
Something created this machine, this unique machine, something.
Absolutely, because I feel like too much, it's too, I can't rock with evolution. That just don't make no sense to me, because, you know, you breed dogs, right? So
right.
If you breed in bullies and you keep breeding bullies, eventually they ain't gonna turn into no timber wolf. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they always gonna be bullies. So the evolutionists got to explain. So we was some sort of humanoid, whatever, and we just kept making
Stardust. Yeah, it's Stardust, bro.
There's another thing they say we part Stardust. And y'all might not believe this, but y'all need to go and y'all can Google this. And the people who said this is true, there's something we're going to get into in a second, but you can Google this right now. They say human beings, and this is a true story, true based on science is what they'll tell you. Human beings share DNA with lettuce, bananas, chickens, fruit flies. So you got to ask me, how in the world is that possible? Unless we got, and the way I say it's because we all come from the same source. Yep. The original source has to be the same for us to have that much stuff in common. Because tell me, how in the world do we share 50% of our DNA with a banana? That's insane. But if you don't believe me, Google, do humans share DNA with a banana?
They Google everything. Yep. They Google
and one of those companies that you trusted to get that shot in your arm when the world shut down a couple of years ago, they the one said that. So if you saying, oh boy, that's some you trusted them when you put that shot in your arm, didn't you? So why you don't trust them when they say you half banana? You see what I'm saying? You say, oh well, I trusted them with the jab, but I don't trust them when they say I'm half banana. It's science. But
they got the video. They got the video of the girl that said she took her granddaddy or her daddy, I can't remember which one it was, took his remains. They cremated him and put it up under the microscope. So they seen Stardust. Oh no!
Oh boy, that sound
as above, as below.
All right, see right there. Gertrude said people in Ghana don't go to church because the pastor are doing business in the church. See, that's what I'm saying. But you got to ask yourself: was Adam a pastor? Did Adam go to church? Did Adam even worship Jesus? I mean, it's a lot of questions you got to ask yourself. Did Noah worship Jesus? Did Noah go to church? You got to ask yourself, where did all this stuff that we do now come from? And if you're cool with just not asking it, well, I'm just going to believe, because you know what they'll say, right? It's all about having faith. Yeah, but it's also about not being stupid. You understand what I'm saying? Because all I'm saying is everything I'm going to say tonight, I can back up either historically or biblically. If you can't do the same, you just need to sit over there and just like I said, just sit back and try to listen. That's all I'm asking for right now.
And see, and check this out. Agnes, she say, in recent times, it appears that the focus of some African churches has shifted from spreading the word of God to making profits. And I say that, I'm gonna leave it up for a second. And what's crazy about that is, if that's the number one fear of everybody, is that the church is jugging off of them, making a profit off of them. How did we get to that point? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but I got something that, like I said, but Christians, y'all gonna have to get some tough skin tonight, because some of the stuff y'all be doing, you're gonna have to explain it, because I know it, but you're gonna have to explain it, and you need to go ask your pastor some things, because some stuff that I'm gonna explain to you tonight, you need to go ask your pastor why it's this way, because it's gonna be some conflicting things, not because I said it, but because it's what the book said. All right, let's get it.
You saying that we want everybody. I hope this moment just keep going viral and keep spinning. We want everybody that watches this show to send it to their pastors.
Absolutely.
And stay tuned with the show. Just watch what's going on. Listen to what we saying. Comprehend and ask your pastor some of these questions and see what he got to say to you.
Here we go.
Your life depends on it.
All right. The number one reason I feel like black people aren't going to church anymore, because we don't got no morality. We want to be hot girl summer. We want to be twerking. We want to, spend the money at the strip club. We out here killing each other in the street. You understand what I'm saying? We have no sexual control. We've been talking about the freaky stuff that's been going on. People got OnlyFans. So I feel like people don't want to have any sort of morality. They want to do whatever they want to do, and they don't want to be held accountable for anything. What do you think about no morality being the reason why a lot of people stop going to church?
Well, I'm tripping on it. They're talking about you need to become a pastor because you're gonna spread the word. But that's what's up. That's what's up.
I'm a truth teller. I'm nobody's pastor. I don't need to be. I'm in charge of my family. So yes, Gertrude is gonna learn from me, but I'm nobody's pastor. I'm nobody's flock. I'm just a black man that can read. And I'm trying to give y'all the same stuff I read, because the whole thing about it is, when you take the religion out, because you got to understand, God didn't create religion. All religions are man-made. And if you disagree with that, I don't know what to tell you, because every single religion is man-made. But go ahead.
They say he spoke down and said, create thou religions. Create religions.
Scripture and verse, please.
Okay. Somebody help me, man. I'm trying to put a stake up for us, man.
Hey.
Create religions for art thou.
Oh, that's what the Bible says. Okay. If it's okay. Somebody put the verse in there that said that we were supposed to create a church, the Christian church, and then we have 85 million denominations.
Okay, I know somebody gonna be able to help me out in this, because we are.
I don't think they gonna be, because what the Bible say, God is not the author of confusion. 75,000 different denominations sound like confusion. The Baptists might be saying, "Hey, boy, you gotta dip yourself in that water. Hey, ladies, don't wear no pants in the church. Wait, you can't wear pants in the church? Hey, the Amish, they covering their head. We not doing that. So why do so many people reading the same book and they come to so many different conclusions? As nobody ever thought about that for a second. Because I hate when they say, "Oh, it's all about your interpretation." That's how God works. All right. Well, my interpretation is I can do whatever I want and I still get into heaven.
That's my interpretation.
You see what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at it. I want to do whatever I want, and I'm gonna get into that, because that's one thing that they teach at church.
That's the masses' interpretation, bro.
But that is what they teach. What do they teach you in church? Hey, man, if you sin, what the Bible say, 70 times 70, what they say? He'll always forgive you. It don't matter what. You basically giving folks a license to sin, and they never gonna feel guilty about anything they doing. It's just like, all right, man. So I grew up in the church, but man, when I was single, man, I was running through women. You understand what I'm saying? And when I was running through these women, every time I had sex, I felt guilty, but not guilty enough to stop. Because all I was just like, God, she found Father God, But you know that thing over there sitting right there, dressed Father God.
Father God, yeah.
Yep. Hey, Father God, boy, you gotta forgive me for this, but I gotta tear that thing up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it was. But what would the pastor tell you? Gotta forgive you. Oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep. So that's what I did. I was smashing after she get up and leave in the morning. Dear Heavenly Father, I pray that you forgive me of all my sins, known and unknown.
So that was his name then, Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we say. And then you end it in Jesus' name. Amen. That's how we was taught to pray. All right. That's how we was taught. But then I keep asking people, and once again, we gonna get to a lot of this stuff. Yeah, but y'all gotta ask yourself, how did Abraham pray? Abraham is very important. How did Abraham pray? You understand what I'm saying?
No.
We gonna get to it. Okay. We gonna get to it. But you got to think on the morality side before we move on.
I'm on it though. I got some on it because we jumped everywhere and we're talking about the pastor shit and all of that. So the morality, when you bring that up, it made me think of.
Whoa, hold on, my bad. You see this? The pastors over in Africa, they talking about they bathing folks' wives. So
man, it's done start. Oh, it's a freak.
Hold on, you talking about? Hold on, you ain't talking about naked, right, Gertrude? You can't be saying they bathing them naked or they baptizing them.
It's a freak.
She's talking about baptism.
Man, she's talking about
No, she's talking about baptism, man. The pastors in Africa are not bathing women naked.
Freak off, man.
Nah, I don't believe that. You talking about baptism, right? They're not naked, are they? Yeah, well, we gonna figure it out.
They doing freak offs in Africa, man. Come on, Gertrude, man. You ain't gonna put Africa out there like that, Ghana, man. Don't do them like that, Gertrude.
Yeah, because you know what they say.
Pastors are the worst. Okay.
All right, man. We gonna get to it, man. What you got on morality, real quick?
Yeah. Okay. So on morality is this: are we as a whole even trying to do what's right, or trying to follow the Bible at all?
No.
And that's a question for the. It's not just targeted to you. Are we as a people, black men, black women, all of the races that can get included, but I'm just being specific at the moment. Are we even following the word? Do we feel that's the way to salvation, or what? Or we done said, hold on, we don't want to do that no more, shout. It's 2024, cuz. Hold on, it's 24, twin. We ain't even doing that no more, twin. I mean, what's going on? The rules done changed or what?
It's tough out there, man, because sad thing to say, and it's the one thing we don't try to do on this show, man. We like to tell the truth as we know it. You understand what I'm saying? We trying to tell y'all what we see and what the truth is. You understand what I'm saying? So we not gonna sugarcoat all the nonsense that a lot of y'all are permitting to go on, man. All of a sudden, if you believe in the Bible, 2 genders. 2. So how we got like 75 now? We got 75 different genders. You can identify as a giraffe if you want to. Who let that shit?
Not the Bible no more.
Come on, man. I identify as a pterodactyl. You understand? It's cool, man. Just you was born that way. You see what I'm saying? It get crazy because we let so much stuff slide through. And then it's like now it's getting real difficult to try to, it's like when that train get moving on track, it's getting real hard to slow that train down now. And now everybody's like, we was saying, yo, y'all cut all this stuff out 10 years ago. But then all of a sudden it's like now folks starting to catch on like, hey, boy, you heard there's about 13 genders now. Bro, we was saying this back in 2012. Y'all need to cut it out. But y'all was the one trying to be friends, trying to be nice. You didn't want to offend nobody. But the bottom line is, the truth is going to be what the truth is always going to be. And if you believe in this...
Hold on. Then they come in saying something about we would not know if it wasn't no rules or something like that. We would not know.
Oh, I see.
That's what we saying. We don't know who to trust. You can't trust nobody no more. That's the point.
Yeah.
Because nobody has any shame. Nobody has any guilt. Nobody has no remorse. Shit,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I remember that.
Equity and morality live.
Yeah, I remember that Biggie Smalls line where he said, "Rob the pastor for the offering." You understand what I'm saying? Like, churches are getting robbed. When I was growing up, they would steal the air conditioning unit out the church so they could go steal the copper out the inside. See, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you robbing, like, that's insane to me. But once again, I feel like it's because, honestly, if people don't fear, people have no fear of God, right? They have no fear. So when people say, I want a God-fearing person, you don't fear God yourself. You understand what I'm saying? It's hard to say that you fear him when you act the way you do. It's hard to think that if we have this all-powerful being that exists, and for disobedience could be your death, but we to be acting and carrying on the way we do, you can't fear him. It's impossible.
Should we fear him?
I mean, now that's the question, though. Based on the story, yes.
The greatest story told.
We gonna get to that too.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going, man. Let's see what else we got on here. So, this is what we see today, man. The goal should be the family. But all we see everywhere we go is money, 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 money. And you got to ask yourself, same thing like in the church. We see the same thing. The focus in the church is money. And we're going to get to all of that stuff dealing with money. And I got a very important question for a lot of the Christians out there, because this is something you got to explain, because I don't know. You're talking about identity. I don't identify as a Christian anymore. I'm not the Kung Fu Christian, Kung Fu Hebrew. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't deal with Christianity anymore. You understand what I'm saying? So, because once again, if the book says I'm not the God of confusion, Christianity is confusion.
So that's your stance on it, is because it's confusing.
Absolutely.
Okay, for sure.
Anytime you just do stuff and you just make it up, like we could even go into Christmas. Everybody in Christianity will tell you, we know Jesus wasn't born on December 25th, but it's the day we recognize it. Why would you do that?
The tradition.
If I was born, it ain't even no tradition. You understand? It's nowhere in the book where it said celebrate the birth. Because once again, I mean, it's like they said, we just making it up. We're making it up, and they have no problem with it.
Yeah, because it's not following the blueprint. None of this what's going on is even in the blueprint, period.
It's not in there. That's all I'm saying. All I'm asking, and my only request is only do it if it's in the book. If it ain't in the book, don't do it. How hard is that?
Yeah.
The book. I say y'all base your entire life, spirituality, even your afterlife is based on this book. So why would you do something that's not in there? It don't make no sense. And later on, I'm going to get into, like you said, the people love having the wristbands on. What would Jesus do? We're going to talk about what Jesus would do. And when I talk about what Jesus would do, I want anybody, any Christians in the audience, explain this to me, please. But this is the main thing that I see going wrong in the community. We're not focused on the family no more. We focused on money, getting money, finding a way to get to it. You already know. If you ain't got no money, ain't no women trying to check for you. All this type of stuff, man. We killing each other over money just because. I mean, a lot of this stuff is just, it's a circular thing. You trying to kill somebody, you out here, like I said, you talked about when you was younger, when you was getting money, trapping, doing all that type of stuff, right? Because what happened with all the money that you was getting? What came along with that?
You know what happened. Death, jail, loot, losses, everything. That's why I said.
But I'm saying, when you was getting the money though, but what was I say a bonus of all of that?
But see, yeah, you get the focus. The focus come, but the goal don't come by your logic. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm talking about the clothes, the cars,
the focus,
the money, the fun.
Yeah, for sure. But it don't get you your goal sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Not the one that's living by the book.
Not supposed to.
But that's why I say, should you fear?
Once again, you got to go in the book. Did God say you should fear? And I believe in the book. He said, you got to, once again, I'm not going to profess to say that I know every single scripture, but I know enough of them. You understand what I'm saying? But that's the question you got to ask yourself. Should you fear God? I would say absolutely, because it's almost like the fear that your parents have, right? If you was younger and you had your parents, like they say, they'll put the fear of God in you. Nah, I was honestly more afraid of my father than I was of God. If you want to be all the way honest about it, because my dad whooped me. My dad told me to go outside and pick a switch. I didn't necessarily have no heavenly consequences to anything I was doing, but if I acted a fool, Dad might have to pull that car over and, you know what I'm saying, do his thing.
Do his thing.
So it is what it is. But I'm saying, that's the question for the people in the audience, man. You got to ask yourself personally, one-on-one, when you're by yourself, do you honestly really feel that that's something you're doing? If you say you fear God, it should come out in your actions, period.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. No universal belief or doctrine. Man, 80 million ways to be a Christian these days. How did this happen?
Oh, that's what the is, 80 different buildings up there.
Man, well, you know, that's AI, man. I just tried to make it look a little freaky. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many it is, but let's do a quick little Google search, man. Let's see. How many denominations are there in Christianity? Let's see. How many?
And see, that's a good point, because that's the scary part of all of this. Hold on.
Okay, it says according to the Center for the Study of Global Christianity, there are more than 45,000 Christian denominations worldwide and over 200 in the United States.
You say 40,000?
45,000 different denominations of Christianity. Why is that? Same book, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And some people are reading the same book. That's like, bro, if we reading Star Wars and it's Luke Skywalker, it's the Sith Lords, it's the dark side versus the Jedi. What else are y'all reading?
This Harry Potter edition 1, the edition 2, the goddamn Twilight series with the wolves, and
I mean, but that's the thing though. Twilight, vampires versus the werewolves, but it's like, y'all still got Jacob? You understand what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, what are we looking at? How can 45,000 different, not just people, but you're looking at the book 45,000 different ways? I think that's insane. Because right now, I'm going to give Islam some credit. I think it might only be about 3-4 different versions of Islam. I think. It might only be one.
But you know what I spoke to you about earlier, man? It would make me think about it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pretend it was the flood and Noah's Ark, and it had to start over. And so nothing was preserved. So it's just a new beginning and new things. And if that were to happen, somewhat like a Katrina situation, a little more big, a little more devastating. What would stop everybody from saying, and it was just one picture floating of Kendrick Lamar with the thorns on his head? What would stop everybody from saying, it was the Lord before we left? It was the Savior. He was black with dreads, and he had a lyrical voice. He had just battled BBL Drizzy. Who is for the next generation to say that ain't the Messiah?
I mean, but that's normally how it starts, though, right? Whoever. Go ahead.
No, because only reason I say that, and you can go with what you say. They have changed 5 or 6 enormous life factors or architectural designs since we've been alive. Yeah. We done been lied to over 20, 30 times from our lifetime. That's what I'm saying. It started with Christopher Columbus selling the ocean blue in 1492.
That's not his name, but go ahead.
Until it got out of the books, and it doesn't even exist anymore in the school books. And we was living this life, bro. They changed history right in front of our face.
Yep. But that's something America loves doing, though. America loves changing the names because that's one thing they can do. Right? So because Christopher Columbus, once again, go ahead.
That, not to cut you off, but that's what made me shaky about this Bible and these books, these apostles, just putting a word out there because it has changed in our lifetime. If you 20, 23, 40, 20 to 30, you might haven't seen certain things. 30 to 40, you've seen more shit. 40 to 50, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like you got to think in our lifetime. I can't go there yet because I got slides on it. But
right,
you got to think about what you said about with Noah and about basically what's going to happen over civilization and things like that. And I really think that it's very important that we take a second out to analyze what Bird was talking about.
Yeah.
How in the world could you prove to somebody that Kendrick Lamar was not Jesus, that he wasn't the Messiah? If that's the only thing that survived a catastrophic flood again, and you had that picture of Kendrick Lamar with them thorns on his head, you gonna tell me that people wouldn't be worshiping him? I'm just saying. But we just said right now, 45,000 different denominations, same book. That's insane. I'm looking at the Muslims right now, and it's saying Islam has many branches, including Sunni, Shia, Ibadism, Quranism, non-denominational Muslims, Madhavia, Ahmadiyya, Nation of Islam, and Sufism.
Why?
So they got
so
like 10.
Fusion.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm gonna say is Islam 10, Christianity 45,000.
That's bad. That's strange.
That's weird. Yeah.
That's weird. Weird.
Yeah. I get it, but once again, you can say the same thing. Ain't it the same Quran? How did y'all pick up the book Muhammad left for you, and now it's even 10 interpretations of it? But we gonna get into some of these universal beliefs that cause confusion. What you got?
So God or God, the guy God, he spit out 2 different verses. He hit him with a Buddha, a Christian, a Pentecostal. Hold on, he remixed that thing with a Quran. Like, god damn, man.
It's a lot. It's a lot, man. It's a lot because you got to think about this. But this is the story that we're told, right? But we got to get to that because I got that later on when we really start talking about it. So let's keep going. So let's talk about some of these universal beliefs or doctrines. And this is the reason why I think a lot of people aren't going to the church, because it's confusing. You should be able to go to the pastor and say, is it okay if I do blank? If they can't answer the question, or if they got to take you around the world, that's the reason why, like I said, I like dealing with the Old Testament.
What's an example?
Okay, so you're gonna be Reverend Birdie for this next example. Okay, so I come to you and I say, Reverend Birdie.
Come on, son. What you got in here, you little boy? Hey man.
Okay. If I drink alcohol, is that a sin, Reverend Birdie?
Yes, son, it's a sin, son, Lord. Yes, Lord, it's a sin.
I appreciate that, Reverend Birdie. Could you give me a scripture and a verse to so I can go back that up so I'll know that it's a sin?
So that's the issue. They haven't been able to back up what they ask. What you asking them?
They can't back it up with scripture, and that's the problem. We can't even, like, this is the thing. We can't even get the lineage right. That's the first part people got to understand. We can't even get the lineage part right.
Because you know what cost me? I was like, God damn, what scripture? I was feeling like I was the pastor then, and that's how they feeling. Like,
but they should be able to answer that question. If somebody comes to you and say, if I want to have an alcoholic beverage, is that a sin, pastor? And then he might say, well, the Bible says you shouldn't be made drunk with wine. Yeah, I'm not saying get drunk. I'm just asking, just a couple of beers. Is that okay?
But where are the pastors coming from these days? Have y'all thought about that?
Seminary school sometimes, or not. They don't even go to seminary school no more, or theological studies.
A lot of the pastors in our churches right now are some guys who used to be drunk as hell, high as hell, and they changed their life and they just went to the church and said, I'm going to be a deacon. I'm going to be a pastor. I'm going to be an usher. And that's it. No requirements, no certification, no validation. and they just start running the church.
You know what somebody said? You know what somebody said one time? They said, how many similarities can you name between pimps and pastors?
Not a damn thing. Both are
they both like Cadillacs. It's like to be in suits and gators. They got a good mouth game. No Diddy. They know how to talk. You understand? When I say mouth game, I ain't talking about other stuff. No Diddy. Right? Think about that. You understand what I'm saying? They like jewelry. I mean, what we talking about, man? They like women. You know, pastors love women.
And they stand on the same principles. PIMP, put it in my pocket.
We gonna get to that part because this is something I'm about to add, and I really want these people to answer this question. But let's get to it.
Yeah.
Money. Christian money women. That is an oxymoron, ladies and gentlemen. There is no such thing as a Christian money woman because you have to ask yourself, what place does money hold in the Bible? You call yourself a Christian, right? So the simplest thing to do is to go to the good book. And what did Jesus say about money? Because if you know what Jesus said about money, it makes it real easy. So once again,
you gotta bring that up for us, brother Hebrew.
Oh yeah, I got you right here, big homie. I got you right here. I'm about to pull up on the screen here. So then once again, y'all, I said you ain't gotta take my word for it, pimping. Let's go ahead and put it on the screen. And what did Jesus say about money? So all you women out here, all my Kendra G fans talk about you want a God-fearing man to make $100K. Let's see if you got some validation. Because let's see what Jesus himself said about money. All right. So I'm going to be reading in this next scripture real quick. And like I said, this ain't church, but y'all need to understand what we got going on because I don't got to get all dramatic with it. I'm reading this thing like it is because it is a book. Let's get to it.
Right.
It says no one can serve two masters. Matthew 6:24. For either he will hate one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon, money, possessions, fame, status, or whatever is valued more than the Lord. It is. That's straight out of Jesus' mouth. So how can you justify that, ladies? How can you justify these money requirements that you have for dating, but you also want them to be God-fearing, but you also want them to be a Christian? But right there, first part of Christian is Christ. And Christ has told you you can't serve two masters, period. But y'all just skip right on, oh, I don't care. I still want me $100K, man. I don't care. I still want my money. I don't care.
That go back to what I said. They don't care about the book anyway until it's the crunch time.
Look at it on the right. I know it's blurry, but it says 7 high-paying Christian side hustles for women.
I guess I get it. A Christian side hustle is being celibate. God damn, they slick. They some witty word playing motherfuckers.
All right, so we got somebody in the building, man. Keith Rowland says archaeological evidence of Jesus does not exist. There is no definitive physical or archaeological evidence of the existence of Jesus. He's incorrect, but I just want to put it on the screen just so he would know he was incorrect. But you're incorrect, sir. There is. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. Same way I said with God. Right? I got to be fair to the brother. He is correct. Let me rewind it. Let me put it back on the screen and let me be very specific. No man on the planet who he's talking about during this time period was ever named Jesus. So he is correct. I'm gonna retract my statement. There is no archaeological evidence for anybody named Jesus. There is no physical evidence for or the existence of Jesus. So he is correct because once again, the guy in the book was not named Jesus. Now, if you want to say there is no physical evidence for someone named Yeshua, that's a whole different conversation. So if you want to have that conversation, I'm going to tell you to click the link. But we're going to keep going. All right. The covenants, man. We got to talk about these covenants because it's what a lot of people like to use. Old covenant, new covenant, all these different things. So I'll put these up on the screen. And what I want people to understand when you start talking about these covenants in the Bible and things like that, right? You have to ask yourself, well, do the different covenants change everything? So this is something I found. I don't agree with the Edenic. I just put this up there because it's got the ones up there. But we know God did make a covenant with Adam. He made one with Noah. He made one with Abraham. They skipped the one about Jacob, which is crazy. He made one with Moses, and he made one with David. And then people say that the new covenant is with Jesus. So that's what it is.
Okay, and these covenants is what? Coming by word of mouth, coming through the roars of the thunderous nights?
It's supposed to be direct, based on the book, direct conversation.
Oh, it was.
I am establishing my covenant. Yes, I am establishing my covenant with you. This is what it is, right? But what I would say is it only really changes once you get to the last one. Everybody else's covenant didn't necessarily throw off the other ones. Like Adam's covenant didn't mess with Noah's. Noah's didn't mess with Abraham. Abraham didn't mess with Jacob. Jacob didn't mess with Moses. Moses didn't mess with David. But once you get to the new covenant, now everything changes. And we know.
Okay. Hold on. Let's slow that down for a minute. Let's talk about this, what he said. Because me and you had something about this earlier. Roland Keith says the meaning of the word faith is strong belief in the doctrines of a religion based on spiritual conviction rather than proof. So absolutely. I wanted to respond to that by saying,
sure.
Here comes that what if and the possibilities part again.
Yep.
Is we supposed to just mysteriously believe everything and just go with our faith? Just believe in it and just.
That's what they'll tell you to do.
I mean, because that's the question. Is it to say, don't question nothing, don't ask no questions, like the pastor would say, don't ask. So don't ask.
I say don't ask.
Don't ask no question.
Absolutely. Don't ask no questions. No, okay. Absolutely no.
So would it be righteous to not ask any questions and just every one of us continue down this path of mystery and hope?
No, because the thing about faith is an aspect of it, right? You want to, it's a belief, right? Like he's correct, right? When he talks about faith or he talks about belief in a doctrine or whatever case, he's correct. That's what faith is, right? However, the thing that we need to understand is, are we just going to keep, in my opinion, doing it incorrectly? Because the thing you got to understand is the people who don't necessarily rock with the Bible, they never going to rock with the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? The people who do, they're not necessarily trying to be here to question it. Let's see what he said. He said, historians do not use the Bible as direct historical evidence of historical claims. That is because much of what is written in the Bible was written decades or centuries after the fact. Once again, sir, you are incorrect.
Something we both was talking about earlier too, and I like that one too, because what he's saying.
But what he's saying is incorrect again, though. It's not correct.
No. Okay. Well. I'm gonna say my part, and you tell us why it's not incorrect or what you got on it. Okay. So all I would say is that correct or incorrect, what he's saying, I like it because it goes with what we just said. What if it was to say, decades later, the Messiah was Kendrick? God gave him a word that DRAKE, do right and kill everything. By Drake. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We don't know what standards will be in 2 decades.
Thumbs down on yourself?
Huh?
I just saw the thumbs down come down on your face. You thumbs down on yourself? Did you do that? Oh, no, it was a thumbs down. Okay, now you good. Yeah, because I saw the thumbs down a second ago. I was like, dang.
How we doing?
You don't like what you said?
Show me some love, bro. Show me some love, bro.
It don't work for me. It don't work for me. It don't work. It don't work. See what I'm saying? It don't work for me. You got to be on the iPhone. It don't work.
Yeah, I know. Gertrude, where you at, Gertrude? God in the house, baby.
Nah, you can't be sending. Nah, you can't be sending.
Oh my bad.
Send somebody else. But go ahead. What you got?
Baby. Hold up.
There you go. There you go.
God in the house. God in the building. My bad. Okay.
Go ahead. What you got?
Now, what I was saying was, what he say? What we took down? He done said a bunch of shit. But
yeah. Nah, he was talking. Go ahead.
No, I was saying about the fact that we just don't know what could happen in decades. It could be something we don't know. And that's what it's seeming like now. We got Paul's account. We got Abraham saying this. We got, oh, hold on, it changed up when it got to Paul.
Yeah, it's a lot going on, man. And but I understand what the brother's trying to say. And for the most part, he is correct, because they used to use the Bible as a historical document. And that was one of the biggest problems, because once again, he's correct in what he's saying, because all history was not written at the time when it happened. That's what people don't understand. See, everybody wants to knock the Bible for saying that it wasn't necessarily written exactly when it happened. Like Adam didn't write Genesis, right? Adam didn't write about creation. You know, they accredit Moses with writing the first 5 books of the Bible. So he is correct that it wasn't written in that sequence. But the thing about it is, a lot of people are trying to make it seem like it was written, the whole thing was written like 2,000 years ago. That's incorrect.
But
it was.
But with this comment, I like this too. Roland, I like where he coming from. He might be a cuckoo, but I like where he coming from.
Nah, so far Roland is on point. I'm not knocking anything.
I know that, but some people may call him cuckoo. That's how it goes. So I'm saying this, understanding the difference between reality and imagined facts.
Yeah.
That's a big part right now. Why is the book in the fiction section, if it's nothing but factual written works? It will be in the non-fiction autobiography documentary section, I would assume.
Now that's a question you got to ask yourself, right? You remember the book Little Boy King? The little boy is my dream. Yeah. So we everybody, and I don't believe anybody. I believe even Mr. I don't know if it's Keith Rowland or Roland Keith, but I believe Roland Keith would say that Martin Luther King was a historical person, right? I believe he would say that. Now, the thing is where we come in is when you start to manipulate the story. You understand what I'm saying? So that will be the part that he's saying. So when he says a very small percentage in the book are facts, this is where it becomes complicated. Right? And I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, but he's got to do it universally. Okay, he's got to do it universally. So it's cool to say a very small percentage of the book are facts, right? But my question is, how do we verify anything? Period. How do we verify anything? You understand what I'm saying? Let's go to everybody's favorite place. Let's go 100 miles south of Israel, Egypt. Or it's like, you know, the conscious community likes to call Kemet, right?
Kemet.
Now, you can say, we can go look at the walls and it tells the whole story. But my whole question is, hey, them walls is lying too. We know the walls is lying. Because once again, we were never intended to see the inside of it anyway, because it's basically like saying, how many, like, you know, you're never supposed to see the inside of a casket. You understand what I'm saying? So everything that we see inside of the pyramids ain't true either. So you got to have that same skepticism about what the pyramids is saying as you do with the Bible. And if you don't, you're a hypocrite. Period.
You got a good ass point tonight, brother.
I'm just saying, because once again, what's on the walls of Egypt? You got a god that's got a head of a dog, not a jackal like we learned. It's a dog's head. Okay, that's Anubis. Or I don't know all of the Kemetic names. So you got to excuse me. I'm using the Greek names. Osiris. I know it's Asar and Heru and all that stuff. I'm not going there. But what I'm saying is, you can't prove any of those things to be factual things that's going on. Period.
Because, and let me double down with you right quick, no Diddy. But what made me what resonated in my head when you say that, which is a good point. I ain't heard that perspective too many times. Okay. But if you go into the buildings of today, something somebody would make, let's say within the past 50 years.
Yeah.
You're gonna have haunted houses.
Yep.
You're gonna have shit in dragons on the wall. You're gonna have
you got a pyramid in Memphis. You got pyramids
you're gonna have Gucci Man and Jeezy on the wall with bricks in the Trap Museum.
Yep.
What in 300 years from now would they be considered the messiahs with bricks?
I don't know.
The paintings on the wall.
Another catastrophic event takes place, possibly, because you never know what happens if civilization goes awry, and somebody wakes up and they see this big, like, you gotta think about it. Take that. I know on a lot of our stuff we have it where you got the little what is the Bass Pro Shops, right? So in Memphis they got that big pyramid with the Bass Pro Shops,
right?
So everything go Planet of the Apes style, and we back in the woods doing all that kind of crazy stuff, right? Who's to say they might see the Bass Pro Shops in Memphis as some sort of great temple to you understand what I'm saying? You never know.
Oh my God, they worshipped fish,
and his name was Bass Pro Shops. Yes, all praises the Bass Pro Shops. Thank you. I'm gonna go pray to the fish guy. You see what I'm saying? You really don't understand any of these type of things. So
they worship the bass.
Right. So what I'm saying is, the thing about it is, and this is what I'm gonna say. I didn't say to the best of my ability, to what I can try to prove, to what I can try to back up. But anybody who's trying to speak as if they are talking 100% facts, impossible, because number one, you weren't there. And number two, everybody's reading secondhand information. We don't have no direct source because everybody's dead. The only thing that we can verify is what we've seen with our own eyes. Let me tell you why. I'm going to ask you a question. Now, some people in the audience might be like, come on, bro. Did Harriet Tubman do everything they say she did? And was Harriet Tubman even the person that they said? Was the Underground Railroad real?
Shit, I heard her husband had a car the whole time. Shit.
See what I'm saying? They claim Harriet Tubman led a assault on a fort in the 1860s. You telling me in that time period a black woman led soldiers in the battle? I don't believe it. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. First of all, you got to ask me this. This is the question I be asking. We're not trying to talk about slavery didn't happen. But what you got to be able to explain is, we talked about indoctrination and we talked about all these different things. If you are born a slave, how in the world did you know that going in a certain direction was going to be your way to freedom? And nobody has ever explained this. How did you know if you was in, first of all, you didn't even have no concept of the South. You had a concept of the plantation. But somehow, some way, you knew if you headed in that direction, that's the way to freedom. Not that way, not that way, not that way. But this way, that's the way to freedom. How did you figure that out? Who told you?
They don't know, brother.
But that's what I'm saying. So once again, but they'll tell you that's a fact. Yeah. So what I'm saying is it a fact because you want to believe it? Or is it a fact because it actually happened? And what I'm saying is, it's almost impossible to prove. I'm saying at this point, if you want to say it's a fact, don't affect me. She dead anyway.
I'm saying everybody should be shaky about talking about facts, period. Because that's the whole angle I'm coming with.
Mm-hmm.
The hieroglyphics could have been nothing but their movies. Hypothetically, let me give y'all a new perspective.
Okay.
What if the inside of the caves was their projector screen? Think about this now. All they was doing was laying back like this here. Oh shit, bro. I'm grabbing some of that popcorn out the dirt, bro. Shit, yeah, we gonna pop that shit, my boy. Shit, we got some goddamn stick roll that shit together. And look though, and the projector screen, they were trying to make a movie. They didn't have motion picture. The movie was the head, the men with the head, the dog head, and the men. It was just a movie, bro. We done said they were gods.
But
they were don't know, bro. That's how far we off. That's how far we could be off. Imagine in my head it told me this. Yes, all we go above is everybody got a vision.
And this is the reason why we're doing the show tonight. Because what I'm saying is, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. It don't matter whether or not the Bible is true or not. That is the source material for these people's religion. So all I'm asking is the source material for these people's religion something? Are they even using the source material that they have for their book? That's my point. What I'm saying is we learned, like you said, in 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue and he landed in America. And then all of a sudden they changed up and said, well, he didn't actually get all the way over here. Well, he might not have did this. And then it's like, oh yeah, and his name ain't Christopher Columbus either. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff. So the reason why it's very difficult to have a fact, you understand what I'm saying, is because it's very hard to verify anything that you did not see with your own eyes. You understand what I'm saying? And we can't get into some of those things that can be verifiably fact, fiction, whatever the case may be. The purpose is why, and obviously I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna speak for Keith, but I would assume that he's not a person of faith or religion. So he has an explanation for why, if he did grow up in the church, he's no longer there.
Keith, are you not claiming no religion? What
are you an atheist, Roland Keith? I'm confused.
Yeah, what are you?
Are you a religious person? But once again, let's keep moving here because I got some topics we really got to get into because people want to talk about facts.
Yeah,
we're gonna really see. We gonna see.
But don't shoot so fast past the covenant. What he was meaning, if I'm not mistaken, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's for y'all to look at this shit. That the covenant, everybody has been getting told a different story by God of how things should be running. Somewhat. Am I?
Well, no. The covenant. Let's look at the covenant. It's just a contract. Look at it more. It's a contract that he made, but it wasn't to like say this is how things are supposed to be. He just made it something. Yeah.
Hold on. But with God, it's between God, the capital God, and each person, right?
Except for the last one.
And okay, break that down a little bit for us, then you can go to your
okay, well, we're gonna have to that's on some later slides, but I can get into it. I'm just saying basically the new covenant opened up God for everybody.
Hold on, say that again now.
Now we've already talked about how most cultures have their own religions, right? African cultures have their own set of religion, deities, Greeks. We've already been through that, Romans and all that, right? So Greeks would worship their Greek gods, Roman would worship their Roman gods, Germans, everybody fall in suit, right? So this was supposed to be the God of Israel, right? So the thing is like this, right? So the new covenant opened up the God of Israel to the entire world. That was that covenant. Because initially, or was it though? But that's what they say. That's what they say. The new covenant opened it up to the entire world. But everybody else is basically a descendant of Israel. Well, you don't get to Israel till you get to Jacob, but you understand what I'm saying? That's just what it is.
And this new covenant was brought down or spread the word through Jesus.
No.
Paul.
Paulito, yes, sir. But we gonna get to it. But we're going to get to it, though. Because I just want to say, because once again, if you don't believe me, you got to understand the way the Bible is broken down. The New Testament, the first 4 Gospels, right, are the Gospels of Jesus Christ. After the 4 Gospels, Jesus is no longer in the book. You understand what I'm saying? Like doing things. Now, some people will disagree. They're talking about Jesus, but I'm talking about he's no longer in the story.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, once again, very simple thing that we can do because we have all this technology now. If there was a covenant with Jesus, shouldn't the word covenant have been said, and shouldn't he have used that word to tell you that there is a new covenant now? We gonna get to that. Tithes. Now, this is one of my favorite ones. Now, everybody knows you gotta pass that collection plate around in the church. But this is the question that I have for the Christians out there. Why do you give tithes? Because y'all say y'all are under the new covenant. But the only justification in the Bible for tithes is found in the Torah, in Leviticus 27:30. Why is that? Because when I bring up stuff, that's some Old Testament stuff, I don't believe that way. Cool, you give tithes? Well, yeah, the Bible says that's in the Old. Because by the time you get to the New Testament, it's already an established practice. So my thing is, why do so many people throw the Old Testament away, but then you still hold on to tithing like it's something you're supposed to be doing?
Because the pastor has finessed them. The pastor is holding on to the old rules.
The church.
Yeah, the church.
The church started that. You understand what I'm saying? This is another one of those things that they adopted in from the Catholic Church. You got to understand that. This is what is things that have been adopted from Catholicism, right? Because the thing about it is, and what people say is, you got to pay the lights, right? You got to pay the mortgage. You got to get the land. You got to have the buildings. You got to have a building fund. You got to do all these different things. So you got to pay your tithes, right? Offerings and things like that. Once again, there is no, if you can Google it right now, where is the justification for tithes in the Bible? 90% of them is going to say Leviticus 27:30.
Yeah.
So you got to figure that out. You understand what I'm saying? It is what it is, right? So there's no biblical justification for the way the modern church asks for tithes and offering, because another thing is what we have these buildings, all these churches. You can drive down the street now, you pass by 8 churches on the same street. But they got to get that money. Why? Because they got to pay the bills.
That 501c, that's what I was looking up. That 501c, yep. That's all it's about.
It's a business though. So how do you even expect that it is what it is? Let's see what he said. Okay, guys, I'm out for now. And if you believe, well, you hold on to something that has no proof. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. Well, once again, I'm going to ask you, what is significant proof for you? You want to prove God is real? That's tough. But if you want to prove that some of the stuff in this book happened, that's a little easier to do. Now you want to ask what in the book can be proven. Then once again, it's going to say, what is your level of like what is the validation of proof that you need? Proof, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because what is proof? Because people will say everything that you see on the walls in Kemet happened. People will say, like, for example, you can go and you can see this glorious battle where they'll say they won this battle. How do you know they won the battle? Because they said it? Because they wrote the pictures up there? You don't know. You just go with it because once again, you would actually have to go to that site, dig up the bones, see the difference in. But how do you know that? How do you know your dad is your daddy? You don't know. Roland, you don't know, bruh. It didn't take number 2 pumps in the quiver. Right. Now, check this out. Now, hold on. I want to show something real quick, right? Now, watch this. Now, if we freeze this moment in time, right? We freeze this moment in time right here. Who can tell me I'm not in Iron Man's basement right now? Is that a fact? If it's on the wall, if it's on the pyramid, they're going to say he was a king in Iron Man's tavern. Now, if it was perfect picture, no fuzziness, no nothing, and it was screenshotted, they'd be like, yo, he was in a technologically advanced basement. You understand what I'm saying? How would we know what a fact is? That's all I'm saying. When people start talking about facts and proof and all these other different things, all I'm asking is, how do you prove anything? And now you can say, now science, you understand what I'm saying? You can take some sodium, you can take some chlorine, it gives you salt. We know that. You can take hydrogen, things, oxygen, it gets water. You can prove that. But what I'm saying is, how do you prove something historically? That's the question we asking. How do we know Julius Caesar was even named Julius Caesar? How do we know that? Because they told us? Oh, you say, oh, they're Roman records. You seen them? Or did they tell you they were Roman records? You see what I'm saying? Like, this is my whole thing when it comes to proving anything. So that's the reason why I say the purpose of this is not to say real, false, whatever the case may be. The purpose of it is to say, you Christians believe this. Why is it not in the book? Why is it not matching up to what the book says? That's the purpose. And the purpose is, if you are confused as a Christian, it's anybody who don't believe it is going to be more confused than you are. So it's going to even easier for everybody just to start leaving the church. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got. Woo! Politics, man. Politics have split the church. Man. Anybody? Like, we got to think about this, right? Christians, Black Christians for the most part, right? The Black church is heavily Democrat. The white evangelical church is heavily Republican. Same book, 2 completely different political ideologies. How does that happen? This is the reason why there are 45,000 denominations, because there is no consistency with any of the things that are going on.
It's too much emotion. They gotta be emotional.
That is correct. But you gotta think about this though, right? If we have two major parties in America, Republicans and the Democrats, right? And it says the Democrats' focus is energy, climate, identity groups / minority rights, and political opponents. The Republicans' focus is constitutional government, freedom, family, and faith, security, and military. So, hypothetically, if I'm looking at this slide, how can you be a Christian and not be a Republican based on this slide? Because they the one talking about faith. They the one talking about separation of church and state, how they want to kind of include the Bible. They want the Bible to be brought back, prayer to be brought back into the schools. As a Christian, why would you not support that? You got to ask yourself that question.
I mean, what was it any spiritual aspect of voting anyway?
Where's voting at in the Bible? Was David a Democrat or a Republican? And who voted him in office? Or was he a king?
Was Adam a Democrat or Republican? That's what I want to know.
How would Jesus vote? Who would Jesus be voting for? Would Jesus even vote? You understand? Would Jesus be involved in politics? Like, it's a lot of different things that they got to understand. But once again, we see this separation. We have same book, one on this side saying y'all are wrong, one on this side saying y'all are wrong. The people on this right side are saying y'all trying to let all the LGBTQ stuff come through. You can't be a Christian. People over here are saying y'all are racist over there. You can't be no Christian because God don't teach hate. What are we doing?
No middle ground. No real understanding coming out of the situation, and that's what's scary. If it's something that we banking our life on, man, people are banking their life,
our life and
afterlife.
Because the things Christians are banking on, you gotta remember that it's not just your life; it's what happens after you die too.
Yeah,
you banking existence. Period. His whole entire soul. You're absolutely.
The placement of your soul on a book that you don't even understand, or a logic, or a pastor who is in the LGBT community on the low, or creeping with little boys, or like, man, how do we get back to the normalcy of what's expected, I guess, man? Because if we're gonna put this big GOOD up there, man, is free will just causing us chaos, or can we change the way things are playing out, or if everybody's just giving up? Is Sexy Red the new Mary Magdalene?
She could be, depending on that picture, you know. The only song that survived the next catastrophic flood is "Get It Sexy." Get it sexy. She has now turned into. They're gonna see those baby pictures that she had. They're gonna see that video where she was twerking right after she, like you said, right after she dropped the baby. Oh, she gotta be married. She gotta be married. That's a miracle birth, because there's no way she could have had a baby and been twerking the same day. So she got
She's the first woman to twerk 24 hours after birth. She's Mary Magdalene.
Absolutely. In the new planet, the new Book of Eli type of civilization, Sexy Red is taking the place of the Virgin Mary, which is insane.
The Book of Uzi Bird.
Man, let's go to the next slide. You know that. All right, here we go, man.
Uzi Bird, man. Oh my God! But we had to
talk about this, ladies and gentlemen, man. It's another reason why people leaving the church. What happened during COVID? It says the church will be closed until further notice due to the COVID-19 coronavirus. God help us all. I point you, Christians, to Matthew 10, verses 1. And it says, and when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal. I'm going to do it like the Hebrew Israelites. And to heal what?
All manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
No, some manner.
All manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
A couple of diseases?
No, all manner of sickness and all manner of diseases.
Absolutely. So, once again, this is what you say you're standing on. Where was the church at? Was the church in the hospital healing the sick? Or was they at home with their mask on? So
did you not trust in the Lord?
You got to ask yourself that question, right?
Ye little faith as a mustard seed.
That's what it say. All you need is the faith of a mustard seed. But meanwhile, you stay home. You didn't go heal the sick. So could people technically blame the church for all the COVID deaths? Because if you believe in the book and you believe this is what it says, and it says you can heal the sick, all, not some, all manners, that includes COVID-19. Why wasn't the church at the hospital? So once again, this is the reason why I'm trying to say, if you don't believe it as a Christian, or you don't believe it as a believer,
if you don't believe it as a pastor, if you don't believe it as a church,
come on,
what are we even doing? Has the church lost its power?
I'm just saying, if the church don't believe it, why should as you call it, why should the heathen, why should the infidel believe it?
Why did the Gentiles? Why even preach to the Gentiles?
We gonna get to the Gentiles in a second. Here we go.
Oh man, that's a good point though, for real, man. They
but
don't even.
Do you really believe? That's the whole point. It's like, to me, I feel like a lot of people just be playing around with it because you don't actually believe it. You understand what I'm saying? Because fear is very powerful, and I don't think people understand how powerful fear is. And we saw it on display, and they shut it down. But what I am gonna give a little credit to right now, shout out to Juju kicking in tonight, man.
Juju.
I gotta shout out Juju. Now Juju, we definitely believe differently, but this is my homie. She is one of the pseudo killer officials. You know what I mean? She is over there. So if y'all want to get some good science, you know, y'all about those things, man, y'all need to go subscribe to my boy Unc West. And dang, he got 2 channels. The one channel is called the Pseudo Killers, and Juju, put the other one in there. I forgot the other one, man, with the little monkey on it. But yeah, you want to go get some good science information. That's what we talking. What is the name? Oh my God, I feel bad. I'm getting some bad promo. Put the name of your the other channel in the chat, Juju.
What that is? I need some ballistics.
Community of Skeptics. That's it. Yeah, Community of Skeptics. I really like the information that they put out over there. But like I said, shout out to them, man. We talking about some different things tonight. You understand what I'm saying? Some things they probably gonna call pseudo, and it's all good, but it's all love coming from over here because we just trying to figure out. Because maybe she could put in the chat. Because I'm pretty sure she's not a Christian. Why did she leave the church? You know what I'm saying? Because this is one of the things that I'm trying to say. Like, when it comes to a lot of these different things, I'm saying, if you're going to have a belief, why be lukewarm about it, right? So once again, let me give them a quick little shout out, man. So once again, shout out to Unc, man. If y'all have it, man, go out there, man. Subscribe to the Community of Skeptics. They be bringing on great Egyptologists, man. They be talking about evolution, all those different things. So if you want to go learn some legitimate science, they over there talking about that. You understand what I'm saying? This is kind of more my wheelhouse. But if I was gonna eat, I wouldn't even try to touch none of that science stuff over there. Oh, she says she still go to church. Well, once again, that is my fault for assuming. But let's keep going, man. So once again, this is some of the reasons that I think people saw during COVID. It felt like the church lost its power. But you know who was outside though during COVID? Your boys with them black hats and them droodles. They was outside like, nah, we going to temple. Y'all ain't stopping. You understand what I'm saying? So it was like the Jews came out, was like, hey, we going. Y'all ain't stopping this, and we gotta go to temple. So I ain't gonna say they believe harder than y'all. I might just say their dedication might be a little harder than y'all. Let's keep going. Woo! No consistency with homosexuality. I'm gonna ask you, man. Growing up, was it any question that being homosexual was a sin?
Nah, man. Question, man. It wasn't.
Okay. See,
it was taught, like I say, we can get all the way to it. It was taught to us, and we knew damn well it was a sin. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you know, you went there with Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, boy. What is you doing? Ain't no Adam and Steve here. You cannot rewrite the book.
Okay. So
you know what I'm saying? Can you rewrite the? I mean, are we supposed to rewrite the book if it was already stated how this shit's supposed to go? That's one of the first questions I would ask.
see, it must be the Spirit of God.
Yes.
Because look what you just put up here. She talked about a mega church. And what we talking about right now? Let's talk about one of these mega church pastors, man. Let's see if y'all remember this situation. Oh, shoot, hold up. It's on mute. My bad.
Myself as a perfect man. But I am not the man that's being portrayed on the television. That's not me.
Now that man said about 2-3 words. Look at the audience, man. They want him. They want him.
Yeah.
Understand? She said she's not a believer, but I still participate out of tradition, out of respect. I can respect that. So everybody should know about the situation that happened with Eddie Long. He was accused of having sex with a couple of the younger male members of his congregation, right? And the one thing, and I want y'all to be very careful to what he did not say. He said they're not who I'm portraying me. He's gonna say some other things, but I want you to just hear him say, did he ever say I didn't do it? Let's listen.
What is he being accused of?
He's being accused of, like I said, having sexual relations with multiple younger male members of his church.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And you know how many people said this right here about this church?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people did. A lot of people did, but you got to understand this though, right? It gets into something that I really, really don't like, because I tell y'all right now, that's why I tell people I'm never going to be nobody's pastor. I'm never going to be nobody's, like, I don't want to be the head of nobody's church. You want to tell you why? Because I'm a man. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to be held to no certain type of standard. And I'm going to tell you the truth, because I understand the book. I understand it. So I'm never going to tell you that something that I'm doing is proper and correct just because I'm doing it. You understand what I'm saying? But you have people out here.
The thing about is this. What if actually living by the book could change everybody's blessings, everybody's money, everybody's good grace? What if that was what's missing, and everybody is so stuck on, well, I know I get 50 lives. I know I get 50 chances to do it right. I know I can repent. I mean, why? What happens if that's the way, and we all so stuck on ourselves?
Yeah.
That we can't do what's supposed to be done. That's why I asked at the beginning of this live. Mm-hmm. Are we supposed to follow the steps of the Bible or not? Old covenant versus new, or whatever. Are we supposed to be living righteous, or are we supposed to be living to do whatever to pay the bills? Let me say that little pussy. It don't matter. I gotta sell some ass. Come on, is that what we doing? Or is it supposed to be about morals and living righteous to reap the rewards of?
Yeah, I feel like and this has been my thing, right? Because I always tell people, like, since I don't really deal with the New Testament at all, there's no sort of conversion, there's no sort of missionary work in the Old Testament. So I don't never try to convert somebody. If you say, hey, that book is fake, cool, shoulder shrug, keep it moving. Oh, can we talk about something else? You understand? Because the Bible or this sort of spirituality is not my entire life, obviously, right? Because I do this show, I do my other show where I kind of get into the Bible, start going some things. I talk about some historical things from time to time, but I'm using the information that is the best, like you say, to the best of my ability, that I can try to verify. That's what I'm using, right? So I say that to say this. We are too judgmental. And I think that's the major point. Now, the judging part doesn't necessarily make it a problem, right? Because we need to bring back some of the judgmental. We need y'all to be telling, hey, y'all need to tone that down. The twerking, the half naked, the debauchery, the OnlyFans. Can we get rid of that? Can we get to, I'm not going to kill nobody that look like me. Forget killing people who don't look like me. Everybody want to talk about the white man this and white supremacy this, and we killing each other.
Yes, sir.
regardless of what book we read, regardless of how you believe, you can be a Muslim, you can be an atheist, it don't matter. Can we just agree, you my brother, I'm not gonna kill you over no nonsense. Now you come up in my crib and you try to attack my family, I gotta defend my family.
But we can't skip the things we have already mentioned, man. When there's no morality or no fear, you already is 50% in the red. It's gonna be hard to come out of don't do this, don't do that, don't kill this, or don't shoot that. If it's no morals to begin with, nobody to answer to, all you got to do is kill 8,000 men and say, "Oh well, I repent to God. I got baptized," and it's clear by theory. You know what I'm saying? What's the incentive for anybody to do right while everybody's saying exactly and everybody cool with the comments? What are we doing, or what is the incentive to do right? You know what I'm saying? All we got is
I'm gonna be honest with you. It don't take a book to do right. I feel like as a human being, there should be it should be like, they almost call it like human nature, right? You understand what I'm saying?
Everybody is agreeing, even by your logic, when you say something and like, man, I'm taking information. I mean, I don't believe in none of this. And then the other people in the comments is saying, oh yeah, I don't believe in it, but I go to the church.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What do we think is righteous though? You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like, oh, I was sucking. Hold on, whoa, no diddy. But the women in the crowd, the women in I was just fucking 30 niggas in college. I didn't care. The men, I fucking 50. Like, what is we doing? I repented when I was 30, when I was 75. I said, forgive me, Lord. Is that what we doing?
I mean, but that's what I feel like that's what Christianity teaches, though, right? We already talked about Christianity. Basically, you have an unlimited. It's like on a video game, man. Where you got a cheat code. And you got to unlimited number of lives, man.
Down, left, right, A, B. Boom. You just fucked up.
And just keep doing it for an unlimited amount of time. I think we got to be able to analyze why is that should that be what we're trying to do?
Oh, here we go. Here go the question I wanted. Absolutely. How do you define righteousness? We said it's the book. If we're going to keep going and keep doing the tradition, it's the book.
I would say... Well, see, my thing is, some people would define, okay, now there's a righteousness biblically, then there's a righteousness, like, I feel like a generic righteousness.
But hold on, if it's, and you get back to your point now, but if it's no righteousness, what the hell are we even looking at these books for?
I mean, that is a great question, but the only thing about that is, and this is just me, the only person I can be responsible for is myself. Second, I can be responsible for my family. That is what I can do. That is what I can control, and that is what I can go. If you want to talk about the black community, black people in general, or you want to include white people, everybody in there, I can't do nothing for you. Period, point blank, bottom line. If you don't want to believe in the book, I have no issue with that. But there is going to be no way that we can ever come to any sort of agreement on just what is morally correct unless there is some sort of established standard to set that.
Because let me ask, because Miss Zachary is asking another question. Fair enough, but what about the population of humans on the planet that don't know nothing about the book? And that's my theory. If we made it this far, this many thousands of years, because I'm gonna bring the uncut street version of what we saying, because we can get intellectual too. Don't worry. But we don't went these many thousands of years, and we still confused about what's right and wrong. We are in fucking trouble, buddy.
and that is, but once again, we already talked about it is because this book has called. I mean, we already talked about 45,000 based on Google, 45,000 different denominations. So first of all, we can't do anything with 45,000 denominations. That's just confusing. We gotta agree on that part. So I feel like we gotta first establish some things first. So if we can't even get a baseline of saying having 45,000 different interpretations of the same thing the rules have changed dramatically.
First it was Adam and Eve. Now it's guaranteed. It's you better respect Adam and Steve. So I mean, we have
man. That's hate speech, bro. You can't talk like that.
Oh God, I love y'all guys. No deal.
Yeah. It's like somebody would say that you were being a hateful person, but if you are lining it up with what the book says, right? Because my thing is, gay people in general, hey man, do your thing, pimping. But
Sure.
I am always curious to understand how spirituality works with someone who is in a homosexual relationship, especially Christianity, when it's explicitly forbidden. I don't understand it. It's like me when I was having sex, when I was single and doing my thing, I knew it was wrong based on the book. The book tells me it's wrong, so how can I justify having sex and just say, oh well, I guess I can't justify the act. That's just my point.
Listen, these comments are scaring me, Miss Zachary, for real. You don't even know how much I'm fighting with Lucifer over here. Get some motherfucking fuck out. Hello. Nah, but straight up, you saying the moral compass is set by the culture. I'm like, so it like leaves a straight DJ table. Oh, sexy, get fucked. Go fuck 20 niggas. Go rob a nigga. Like, it ain't no end to this shit then. Morality is subjective. So no word that been preached and passed down means nothing.
Yeah. Now that is, but okay. See now we can do it, right? See why, see, I be trying to find ways to get my little boy in here, man. Like I said, shout out to my dog Masigo. We know you're a fan of the show, but I love getting this in every show. Now we know we got people watching over there from Ghana, and if we talking about the polygamy, the culture it in will set the morality. So if you're in a polygamous culture, then it's not immoral to have multiple wives. In America, they will tell you it is immoral to have multiple wives in America because it's not legal. But those same people will tell you that same-sex marriage is acceptable because it is legal. So that's the way you got to be able to look at it. So she is correct. It is subjective due to the culture. I'm not saying that it's right, or I'm not even saying whatever. But what I am saying is she's correct, because based on the culture, that's going to determine.
But he can't have multiple subjective titles of morals and the righteous way of life. Come on, bro. How can we ever? Okay, by Ghanaian rules, you can kill 75 men and rape 35 women. That's Ghana. By Eastern laws of Europe, you can have 89 kids out of wedlock, and come on, man,
But this is the one thing you gotta do. If you understand what the word Catholic Church, that's what they tried to do. The word Catholic, I believe, comes from the Greek word like kathalos, which means universal. So they were trying to create basically a universal church for the world to basically set a world morality. So that's when we get into colonization and a lot of those other things came into place, because they wanted everybody to believe the same way, everybody to have the same set of standards. No, you're not going to be sacrificing humans and stuff like that. No, you're not going to be doing this. Everybody's going to believe in this one God, this one Jesus, and this is what everybody's going to do. And it didn't work. But they tried it. But they had to do it through colonization.
Thank you for bringing this point out. I love that you brought this point out. That was marvelous. Now, when it didn't work, now the question is, who's right?
Yeah, like once again, you know what? I'm a rock with what she said. Who's right is subjective, because it depends on.
So we're in a world. So we're destined for chaos then.
Right, because let me show you how subjective it is. Watch this. Abraham married his sister.
Oh my goodness! Oh Lord!
You know, Dr. Tobias loved watching the show. If I told you, hey, I'm trying to be like Abraham, I'm gonna marry one of my sisters, you'd be like, bruh, like,
hey, and then what they say, Solomon loved the trick. So I'm just. So what? Let me ask this: is the Bible really a post date? Is that what the word you use? American post colonized porn magazine? Is that a hustler magazine? Is that a hustler magazine with good scripts in it? Because if you think
this is the way I look at the Bible. The way I look at the Bible was compiled. I don't say written, but the Bible was compiled to control people. And you have to be able to understand that. If you don't understand that the Bible was compiled to control people, then it is what it is. Because first of all, we have to talk about these civilizations didn't have no access to the scriptures anyway. You understand what I'm saying? If the average person in Egypt was illiterate, you trying to tell me the shepherds up the street was reading? No. So my thing is, people got to understand what you actually literally hold in your hand. And the Bible was compiled together to control people. And if you disagree, I don't know what to tell you, because the Bible is a compilation of texts and scrolls that have been written over thousands of years, and they were put together to establish order and a doctrine. So if you don't understand what you're looking at, I don't know what to tell you.
What do we have Miss Zachary saying no about? She don't believe it's compiled, or she agree with you, or she don't. We don't know yet.
I don't know. I'm pretty. She is a very outspoken person. She will let it say, "Oh, drop the link." Oh, I got you.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. I want to go ahead. If y'all don't remember Eddie Long, I just want to get to the end part, because to me, this once again goes into something, and this is the problem that I think we have with Christianity. It's about man worship. And to me, right? All of these people right now, the majority of his congregation probably to this day would be like, nah, he didn't mess with them boys. Even though we got all the evidence saying that he did, they would still believe he didn't. And that's the problem that we have today, period. It's almost like, you remember, what's that old saying? You should never meet your heroes.
Right.
This is why, because they will disappoint you, and you will still want to believe whatever it is you want to believe, even though all the facts to the contrary say a different story, right? So I just want to go to his famous exit real quick, and then I want to bring up something real quick, and then we're gonna keep going.
I'm not a perfect man, but this thing I'm gonna fight. And I want you to know one other thing. I feel like David against Goliath. Yeah. But I got 5 rocks, and I haven't found one yet.
And then he walk off stage holding his wife's hand. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, we want the theatrics. We don't want the righteousness. We don't want it.
About it is, as I hate to say this, and it's kind of cliche, but when you got a good mouthpiece, we're seeing it. Mm-hmm. You got a good presentation, we're seeing it on IG, on TikTok. You can develop a cult following. Yeah, it's no different. Honestly, a pastor is no different than a nigga that got a good following and a good storyline to put on his story right now, and making $10,000 a week jump on his bandwagon on Instagram. To me, so hey,
I mean, that's the thing that I was looking at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought about it like this. Like, I mean, it's a guy on YouTube right now. I'm not gonna name his name, but he has a crazy cult following, and some of the stuff he teaches is completely wrong. And I can say it's wrong just because it's not even biblically accurate, okay? But he teaches some things that are horribly wrong. He teaches you that Israel is in Utah. And I'm like, what? But he goes live, and 5, 6, 7,000 people are listening to him talk about Israel being in Utah.
And that's what I was speaking on earlier, bro. If in 200 years from now, all of this shit that's on TikTok, all this different shit of Utah, the pyramid, bro, it's gonna be ridiculous to what they can imagine what would happen. They're gonna see the leprechaun from the movie. They're gonna see goddamn the Minotaur on the goddamn Yoda on Star Wars.
Like, baby Yoda. They're gonna say baby Yoda is Jesus.
It was baby Yoda in the world. It was baby Yoda fighting humans and eating them. Bro, it's no telling where the imagination can take us, man.
We said we weren't supposed to do. His name was Grogu, so we got to call him by his name, Grogu. His name was we just did a capital God. We just called him Baby Yoda. That's not his name.
Yeah.
Oh, like what it say? You gotta say my name, Grogu. Grogu would be the son of God. And then you would But now this is. I'm just gonna play a little quick clip of this, and I want to go to this. Now I want to just really get to that WWJD because I don't know. You know how we do. We're about the 3 hour mark. I want to get some of this stuff out. But
you gotta push
this is something that is very interesting. I want you to watch this next clip.
In the divine, who believes in a creator higher than me. And I so happen to be a same gender loving Black man in America. None of the things that I had any decision on. I was born Black, I was born gay, and decided to follow the divine.
All right. So,
oh man,
this is where we're at. And once again, all I'm saying is this happens in Christianity. It happens in the Catholic Church a lot too, right? Now, I'm pretty sure they exist, but I don't necessarily identify with them cats. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know no Hebrew Israelites that can talk about that. Go ahead.
What it's making me think about, bro? And I'm like, I'm really like baffled, but I'm thinking like, isn't a pastor, shouldn't he be like, I don't even know if this word fits anymore, ordained by the Lord? Like, shouldn't you have like a special gift to be preaching these type of things? So it's like because I want to say this, we actually went to school with a guy. His folks was pastors and he was a pastor as well. I don't want to put him out here right now, you know. But anyway, because they had some rough times. But so this nigga is
gay.
Yeah, we know.
No, he wasn't gay.
If you talk about the person that we went to school with, that was the valedictorian.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, but no. Listen,
I'm gonna put his name in the private chat.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, he was a pastor. He was passed down for like his daddy. But all this nigga is doing like, hey, bro,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he like, bro, you got a 3.5 over there, bro. I need some sauce. That nigga ain't thinking about no Lord. The Lord did not ordain this nigga. This nigga trying to get a 3.5.
Well, we would like to welcome Miss Juju Jolanda Zachary to the Worst Podcast, ma'am. How you doing tonight?
Thank you for having me, and I'm doing exceptional. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, I know you talking about. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So what's going on? What do you have to add to our topic? Because we're asking questions about basically why the I feel like and do you agree? Do you agree that Black people are becoming? I would say they're leaving the church more these days. Would you agree with that?
To an extent, I agree. But like pretty much everything else, nothing really.
He being too. Excuse me, Miss Zachary. He being too cool and nonchalant about the question. What we like to do here is get to the nitty gritty of things.
Can I finish my response?
No. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but the thing is, are Black people even leaving the church, or are they going? That's the question. Who said they were leaving?
So I feel like there is a decline, but nothing ever stays the same. Things will change. Why for the decline? I think there are a number of reasons. It's not just one.
Yep.
And that's all I can say. I mean, I can speak on my own personal, but sure. I can't speak on the population. And I guess in absolutes, like I can't say for certain. I can tell you what I see, and I can share my personal experience, and that's about it. And I also can share some of the issues that I've heard young people address, like the questions that I stated in the chat, or things that I've heard young people ask, in a sense, and other questions. What I was trying to convey, and that's the only reason why I came up here, And when I
Sure.
make my point, I probably won't stay
Absolutely.
on the panel, so thank you for letting me up. But what I was trying to convey with the point of me saying post colonial America is because
Mhm.
that's what we know, right? That's our reality, that's our
Absolutely.
existence. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
when we were speaking on this a particular situation, we have to be clear on the time that we're speaking in, right? We're not speaking during the civil rights. We're not speaking during what is it, Reconstruction or Jim Crow or even
Reconstruction.
slavery.
We love the
We're
country.
speaking post colonial America, after slavery. That's the
Mhm.
period of the church that we know. That's what I was trying to convey also with that point, and to also give a demographic. Not only a time but the place. We're in America, so my questions were because when you go to like East India and you speak to people that may adhere to Hindu, they don't know nothing about the Bible. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? If I'm
Absolutely.
speaking about descendants of people from Easter Island or the indigenous Australians, and I'm talking about the indigenous, the original population, not the colonizing population.
Hmm.
Those who are Christian, they don't know nothing about the Bible. So I was speaking to that point, and that point alone, not to be combative, not to be argumentative, but that's literally, the reality of the situation,
Yeah. Okay.
and
Yeah.
that was my point.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anything you said. Real quick. Since I know you be over there with the pseudo killers. And I know y'all my go to for this. Have you heard this? That the world is ending on May 17th. Have you heard that? Is there any scientific evidence that says the earth is
No.
going to end in 7 days? This darkness and Jesus' return in 15 days. Decided to put this in the chat. So, um, anything in the scientific community that we know
I
about the earth
mean,
next
so
Friday? I guess.
listen, we are at the mercy of nature, and the universe is part of nature. We have a massive black hole in the center of our galaxy called Sagittarius A. So, any flicker of that, we are no more, and we won't even know it when it happens. So, it's like, I personally won't be stressed about things like that. You
Nah.
know, it won't matter. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, well, we go on and live another day.
But there was
That's
a
my response
tornado
to
in
that question.
Tallahassee.
Okay. Now this guy
I
and
mean,
this
there was a tornado everywhere.
Yeah,
Texas,
Jordan.
Tallahassee,
Yeah,
all
it was a
over.
lot of
It was actually quite a few natural disasters happening all over the world. It
yeah,
seemed like this week. Brazil, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I think Michigan had some stuff going on. Yeah, in Brazil, it flooded a whole town, and a horse was on top of a steel roof of like another house, and they had to rescue him by boat and like lay him on the side in the boat. So
That's
yeah.
crazy.
yeah, I saw that today. So
Yeah,
So,
again, it's
so
lots of things going on. If that happens, that happens. If it doesn't, we live another day.
yeah.
God
That's
okay,
bless
and
us.
real quick before you go,
Yeah,
I just got one quick question. This is a fun question.
you
Um,
good? Uh,
if that because we've seen plenty of movies, right? That world-ending
mm-hmm.
asteroid we
Yeah,
now have confirmed that it's heading towards the Earth.
yeah.
Does your outlook on life and morality and all these things change? What are you doing?
Um. So the asteroid that I know about that's quote unquote heading towards Earth is actually going to be about um what is it, 15,000 miles or actually more, so many miles away. It's going to
Hmm.
be close, but it's not supposed to make contact. That's what
Right.
I know. Two, um I'm sure that scientists are on and have been on it for some years now. The
Hmm.
fact that we were able to land a device on an asteroid that's on the outskirts of our solar system and collect
Hmm.
samples, I'm sure if the data deems that it would be detrimental to human life or existence, that they'll probably do the same thing to one, see the composition of the asteroid to figure out how to either destroy it or to minimize the size of it So if it does impact Earth, it won't cause any catastrophic damage.
See, see right there. That's what I tell you, man. Y'all can come over here. You know, this is one of our deeper conversations. You know, normally we like talking, you know, Drake versus all that other stuff. But I tell you, House of Skeptics, you know what I'm saying? Pseudo killers. Man,
Community
this
of
is
skeptics. It's all good though.
Pseudo killers.
Yeah, make sure I say it right. Community of skeptics
Yeah.
and the pseudo killers, man.
I
Y'all
got a
go
question for the
subscribe to them on
pseudo
YouTube
killers.
because yeah, like I said, they be putting out some very good information. But
Can I say one more thing right quick before I go, if you don't mind? As far
we love company. I get tired of
thank
talking.
you. I was glad I caught the show, Kung Fu. Yeah, I was glad I caught the show. So I was like, yeah, I gotta listen to fam real quick. You feel me? And so I'm gonna mention two things. One thing, I just want to stress the importance of having respect for each other, for each other's, you know, personal choice concerning religion and things like that. See, pseudo killers, yes, for Bobby Banger, the God killer, the black atheist, he wanted to set up a platform so it would be a safe place for people who choose to be atheists. Are we like against, you know, religion or religious people or church? No, we're not. So I wanted to clear that up, okay? Because like I said, I still go to church. I respect my church. I love my church, particularly the black church, you know. And I do a lot in these spaces when I hear some demeaning talk about it to protect the black church. Oh, even though there's some problems, there were some significant progress that we as African Americans or Black Americans made due to the black church. You know, so to be disrespectful to it, I will not have that at all. You know, and the black churches that I know, and there are many of them, they're still actively involved in their community, doing for their community what they're supposed to do. So a lot of times when we hear this negativity about the church, that's limited, you know, and usually it's one or two people, and that doesn't mean it's all of them. So I'm just saying, pseudo killers is welcoming to any and everybody, whatever your religion affiliation is. That's not our point. Our point is to spread scientific literacy and to give a safe place to those who choose to be, you know, an atheist, particularly black atheists, because you don't really have that, and I feel like that's okay. But the scientific literacy is the most important part. And two, I do the show on Our Galaxy and Beyond, so I deal with a lot of the astrophysics stuff. So I'm constantly keeping up with the day-to-day when it has to deal with astrophysics. But I'll tell you something that the friend in the chat didn't tell you, that came from the national. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
When you say the friend in the chat, are you talking about the Earth going dark? That guy?
Yeah. So the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, that's an organization. It's a scientific one. They put out a warning today about solar flares because we are in a new phase of the sun. I don't want to get it wrong because I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm not going to say that. But we are in a new phase of the sun, and we should be getting more activity from the sun, including solar flares that could perhaps affect some of, you know, your electrical devices or radio control devices. So know that in the upcoming week, and that's a real thing. You know, that's a scientific thing going on there. But yeah, you can catch me tomorrow at 12 p.m.
I just wanted to ask one thing.
Go ahead.
Do you see the world as the biblically written firmament?
No.
Or do you see a globe?
It is a sphere.
A sphere?
A global sphere. It is.
So no flat Earth, right?
No flat Earth.
So not the disc, not the
because it a global positioning systems and even some how shall I say some what I want to say,
because it's a fair debate. It's a fair debate.
So global positioning systems and some principles about aerodynamics could not occur without a globe. It would not be able to happen on flat Earth. You wouldn't have seasons on flat Earth. there's something else.
I mean,
Like
because the
you
only
wouldn't have
people have a
daylight savings and different things like that on flat Earth. Like there will be no need for certain things if we were on a flat Earth, and because our evolution as a human species from what if you want to call it the primordial soup from the very beginnings of life on Earth, um, that could not have happened on the flat Earth. See how it works in science, especially when it comes to life evolving. Everything has to be in a particular manner, and it would take a global or spheric Earth in order to harbor those
in how
necessary
same way
things in
energy
order
is
for
produced.
life to have come about. That's
Yeah, kind
just
of like how energy is produced, like the spherical, the what Vitruvian man, the
well,
spherical.
I
Is
don't know
that
about that, but what I'm saying is everything has a connection. Like we needed a global Earth so we can have this type of atmosphere to create this type of environment in order to harbor life. You understand what I'm saying? In order to have the atmosphere that we have, that cannot be on a flat Earth. It would have to be on a sphere, on a globe. In order to have this protection, this atmosphere to protect us from what is it, the radiation of the sun and different things like that would have to be on the globe, like
so the
it's just
firmament can be on the spherical plane, like it can be on the globe? Is that
no,
no?
just absolutely not. That's
I was about
just
to say
absolutely
We going
it's gonna be like
we
Brother
no, it's
Sanchez
just
cruising the
absolutely
conversation that
pseudo
they have right there.
science to the
No,
death.
I'm only asking
um
because now we're going against science, against the word. Because if the firmament is a complete lie in the Bible, now we got another issue to address to the public. That's all
It
I'm saying.
did so we have to realize when something is a lie or someone just got it wrong. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, even when we like, oh, when we're calling people pseudo, we try to be
Yeah,
careful to that. Like you have to give us a strong, this strong position of denial of the facts in order for us as pseudo killers to call you pseudo, right? If you're just someone who got it wrong, that's different. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And especially when we speak about our elders,
absolutely.
we have respect for the elders, but we understand that they were a product of their time, right? They didn't have all the scientific tools and the information that we have today, this
Absolutely.
second, right now. So whatever conclusions they came about to, whatever they were trying to the questions they were trying to answer,
Yeah.
that was for them then.
So
That's
the
the
Absolutely.
whole point. Go ahead. But that was the whole point of us standing on their shoulders. We're
no, and
supposed to
I like your
continue
answer.
that.
I like your
Yeah.
answer. So that's what I'm telling you, and
So
I say that because I'm yeah, most definitely give the crowd
yeah,
to
but I
that
think
because
a lot of people in the community think serial killers are judgmental. We think we're better than everybody. Like it's not that. It's just like when you know better, you do better. And
Absolutely.
we don't walk around with our heads down. I mean, as Black people, as African American people, and as someone that advocate for children, youth in particular, that's never happening. No matter what, we're walking with our heads up and up high. It's
yeah,
okay to be wrong. It's okay
Yeah.
to admit you're wrong. It's okay to say I don't know, because that
yeah.
leaves room to learn, to
Yeah.
grow, to learn
I
more.
I just don't want I don't want the society outpacing the book and the knowledge. And
Well,
if it they
so
what
in reality, that's probably going to happen. That book was written how many years ago? Six
mm,
Uh,
thousand.
yeah, it's a
What's
while.
today? So I
thousand,
mean,
It's
so
2024. So if we say
here's
the
the
earliest
thing.
scripture was 1,000 BC, what are we talking about? 4,000,
yeah,
3,000
yeah,
years?
thousands of
Okay.
years.
Yeah.
Either way, what I'm saying is, and like I said when I first came on, nothing stays the same.
Right.
So what the church, not the Black church in particular, you're gonna we are going to have to find ways, because I'm still a part of that, right? Me and
Yeah.
my pastor have a great relationship. I even went to the Hanging Church in Egypt and brung him Black a rosary, even though we're Baptists, missionary Baptists.
Yeah.
It was, of course, it was the one thing I can bring him back from the Hanging Church, because they say that's where baby Jesus, Mary, and Joseph
Yeah.
hid in the basement, okay, in Egypt. So I brought him that, but we're gonna have to find a way to grow or stay with the times. For instance, in COVID, we did a Zoom church. That's not a problem because church might not look what it looked like when 20, 50 years ago. We might
Right.
have to, like, sometimes you just got to let go of some things and embrace new things. So the new face of church may look a little different, right? It may look like a Zoom setup. That's just the reality. And I'm saying that because, wait a minute, but that's not just because of COVID, but that's because of safety. We just saw the guy in Pittsburgh that walked into the church and tried to shoot the preacher. Thank God a gun jam. That just happened less than a week ago. You get what I'm saying? So when we talk in my church, when we talk about, whether we're gonna actually go to the church for church or we're gonna do it on Zoom, that's either because a new variant of COVID came out and we know that a lot of our own members are sick. So obviously there's an issue within the population. And because we have a lot of elderly, we don't want that to continue to spread and put their health and lives at risk. You get what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta really be in tune and think differently, but you also gotta think safe into the well-being of your congregation. So things have changed. That's all. And the church will have to grow.
I just want to know, maybe is it time to unify somebody and let's create a new book, a new way?
I don't have an answer to that.
If it's timed out,
I don't have the answer to that. My answer is, so in the meantime, though, I would like to get even the church folks and our children involved in scientific literacy. Whatever that answer is, in the meantime, let's get involved in that. Because
we still gonna need STEM. That's why I tell people, regardless.
We still gonna need STEM, right?
Always gonna need STEM. It's like maybe
they can
I'm in
figure it
Iron
out.
Man's basement. You where you at? He where he at? For us to be doing it now, we don't do this through the Bible. We do this through
technology.
Exactly. And you can add arts and agriculture in there. And shout out to Dr. Mayat for that addition. So even with that whole term STEM, the more that we learn and we grow, the more that we know we need to add another letter to enhance the acronym to make it accurate and fitting for us, right? Same thing with the church. I just tried to use a quick example, but that would be the thing. But before I go, thank you, Kung Fu Hebrew. That's all good. And thank you. I didn't catch your name, sir.
That boy Birdie, the number
that
one.
Boy, I knew had boy in it. I'm from the gutter too. You feel me?
That's boy Birdie.
Boy.
If you're French.
So, oh my God, that's funny.
But yeah, like I said, man, if you see Ugg, man, tell him shout out to him, man. I'm gonna be honest,
will.
man. I haven't been around for a while. I ain't gonna front.
It's okay.
I don't get into the wars when it was the battle
You're
going
not supposed to.
The black people in Yemen.
I
was just like, man, when y'all get back to it, man, I'll rock back with you. I'll pop up, man. You know how I do.
But I just don't want you to forget, Unc do his thing. But Pseudo Killers as a whole, we got other things going on. Like I have Our Galaxy and Beyond. I just had a show, what is that, Wednesday night. So you can catch that on Pseudo Killers. I'll be doing a show on, don't be offended, but we're going to call it Pseudo Killer. Is it going to be Space Age African Saturday School? And then on Sundays, we're going to have Pseudo Killer Sunday School. Okay?
I put it to you like this, and I don't know how much of the show you caught, but like I said, I mean, I believe differently. You understand what I'm saying? And I allow people to be who you are. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, whatever you say you are, that's what I'm going to hold you accountable.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm definitely.
Tell me this. Be the best version of that you can be. That's all I want.
Exactly. I mean, well, that's why I go by good juju, bad juju, and hopefully bad juju don't hurt too bad. I make them laugh.
You better pull a goddamn woo on a nigga ass.
But I'm true. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. I'm just saying. It is what it is. But join me tomorrow. We're going to be doing it Saturday at 12 p.m. We're going to be talking about the anomaly of the star Methuselah. Because this star is supposed to be the same age, if not a little bit older than the birth of our universe. So we're gonna deal with the complexities and the anomalies and how and why we date stars and how could it that we get a star that's aged older than our universe? What did you say, boy?
Stardust. Came from Stardust that we were talking about earlier.
We did come from Stardust, but don't make it super pseudo though. You know what I'm saying? So how we say it,
superpowers, man. We about to turn to the X-Men, man.
Right.
X-Men.
So how we say it is that we are nothing but the guys. Sometimes I get cloudy. We're nothing but the residual or
leftovers,
of everything that's happened in the universe up until the time of our evolution.
Yep.
You know,
nothing but
we're
time.
Nothing but the residual of that.
Word time. I love them words. Time and timeline. They some key words to finding the truth.
Yeah, but time is only a human concept that doesn't exist in space. You feel me?
You right about that?
Because there's no concept of time when you're talking about trillion and billion.
Hello, fifth dimension. Now we're moving up one. That's what I'm telling you. So now
but thank you. I'm not gonna take up too much of y'all time. I appreciate you having me on the show.
I will drop in. Is that gonna be on Community of Skeptics or Pseudo Killers?
Pseudo Killers. See, Community of Skeptics is one that really be pushing hard. Pseudo Killers, we try to do some stuff.
Once again, it's all good. I just say, like, I wanted. When I showed up and I said what I said, I gotta be saying I'm here for the learning. All that other stuff. We don't be on here like banging on other podcasts. And, bro, did you hear what's up? We don't do none of that. So
we here for the pushing hard.
But that's why we have both, right? Because some things can become personal. That's actually between what used to be two friends, and it's a lot. I'm not gonna get into that. But when it comes to Pseudo Killers, we got some other stuff. And if Unc want to come on the show and you feel me, maybe throw a shot, that's his business, but it doesn't take away from the information we're dropping,
Right.
Absolutely.
We understand that Black people like a little drama too, so we're gonna give you a taste of everything, but we definitely gonna give you the real food to eat. You feel me? And that's factual information, scientific literacy, and of course on the shows I'm always dropping a new Black African American African and diaspora scientist, so we can end this illusion of white man science. That's for 2024. Thank you for having me. I'll talk to y'all. Appreciate y'all.
We're gonna see you out there. I'm gonna be there tomorrow because tomorrow is my Sabbath, so I'm gonna be chilling. So I'll kick my feet up.
No problem.
See you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Good night.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night. All right, check this out. So we showed the different thing. We had the pastors on this, but I think this is one of the things, because what we have to understand is, like we talk about, if we want to talk about the evolution of the church, then it's like, if the church is evolving at different phases, it's still not going to get to the conclusion that we want. Because if you say it's okay in 2024 to have a gay pastor, right, and you want to say that, then when you got 45,000 denominations, it's still not going to be any sort of consistency in the conversation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. It's not going to be accurate. And
go ahead, what you got?
I like that point of view. Like I said, the thing about it is, if time is changing, although time is nothing but human perception or whatever.
It's a human construct.
But I'm cool with that. But the thing about it is, how long are we going to keep going with these same philosophies if that's the case? How long was this Bible supposed to survive the test of time? When is it going to be Kung Fu Hebrew and that boy Birdie book? When do I book the Bible?
But was the Bible created for everybody? That's another question that people aren't asking. It's like, if the Bible is outdated, who said the Bible was ever intended to be a worldwide phenomenon? But it is what it is, man. Let's keep going. I think I got a couple more slides on the show. I think I want to get to my "What would Jesus do" slide. Now we ain't got time to get into Paul versus Muhammad, but I'm just gonna say real quick, the Paul versus Muhammad thing. Once again, we just want you to think a little bit. Paul saw a vision in the sky. Jesus came down, asked him, "Hey, why are you persecuting me?" Right? And Paul used that encounter that he claimed to have with Jesus in the sky as his legitimacy for everything that he ended up writing and teaching. Muhammad, I believe, said the angel Gabriel came to him in the cave and taught him the Quran. So my question is, and this is just a hypothetical because we ain't gonna be able to get into it tonight. Like I said, bro, we might need to do a part 2. But you got to think about this. why do you just automatically believe Paul? And why do you automatically disagree with what Muhammad said? And secondly, you have to ask yourself a question. Is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob the God of Ishmael?
And
that's the question you got to ask.
That's the question, and that's a deep question. No diddy. But I say that to say this. That's the thing we got to think about as well. You saying Paul versus Muhammad and who is their God? The thing about it is, what I've heard from people who study Satanism and other religions, that they say the serpent went into Eve's ear and said, surely you will not die if you eat off of this tree.
Yeah.
And the bitch didn't die.
She did.
She did.
She didn't die immediately. She didn't die immediately.
She was gonna die either way it went from my logic. Maybe the time changed, cool. But what they say,
technically based on the biblical story, what I don't want to say what's commonly believed, but I used to say how I look at it is, if they would have just not eaten from that one tree and continued to eat from the tree of the fruit of life, that's the reason why they no longer had eternal life anymore, because they were no longer had access.
And that could be true, but the fact of the matter is, if it was eternal life, then maybe the story can be changed. But from the viewers of these lines of worship, they say, if she didn't die, who was the real liar? The serpent or the voice in the cloud? Surely you won't die if you eat this. Surely you won't. Wait a minute. I didn't die. Oh shit, you telling the truth, bro. This nigga lying, bro.
Hey man, I have to salute what you said, man. That is good stuff, man. Like that's a good way to look at it.
I'm just saying, it's other religions that believe it that way. The serpent told the truth, and the capital God was lying to the people. Hey, I'm gonna give Muhammad Quran. Hold on, I'm gonna get this nigga Baptist. Hold on, damn, I forgot.
But then you know what? Some people that say Jesus was a snake. So it just keep getting way. You can go on YouTube right now, bro. It keep getting deep. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said, bro, this right here, it keep getting deep, man. Let me see. I think my what would Jesus do slide is next. Okay, so real quick, I just want to talk about this because everybody wants to use Paul as the example, and this is the thing that I don't know if people have pointed out before, but you can see it on YouTube, people. But this more or less from the atheist perspective.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you go ahead and you believe Paul, let's read his account of the road to Damascus. This is what supposedly legitimized Paul to become an apostle. Acts verses 9 verses 7 said, and the men which journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing a voice, but seeing no man. Then, when Paul was on trial, let's see if the story changed. Acts 22 verses 9 says, and they that were with me indeed saw the light. With me saw indeed the light, and were afraid, but they heard not the voice of him that spake to me. So in Acts 9, they saw no man, heard a voice. In 22, it says saw the light, couldn't hear.
That's why I brought that up with the guest on and everybody as well. But I mean, it wasn't her job to answer that. That's cool.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that we already understand, and what we talk about a lot on this podcast, people are naturally liars, bro. Why are we even supposed to believe these accounts? These people what if Rihanna, matter of fact, what if this was ASAP Rocky? Paul ASAP Rocky.
Okay.
Hey, it was men that seen me and heard of that. No, that's Gucci Man. That's Gucci Man. We gonna call Paul Gucci Man.
Okay.
Hey, bro. It was goddamn. They stood speechless, but I seen, we ain't hear nothing. We just seen the light. But I mean, we heard him, but we ain't see the light. Bro, how can you believe these niggas?
But that's what I'm saying. This whole account right here was his entire validation. And what I'm saying is, I don't understand. If the story changed, why do people not make it seem like this is important? It has nothing to do with faith. Has nothing to do. It's not like, ooh, this isn't a gotcha moment in the Bible. It's a legitimate question.
Yeah. It's just the fact that niggas and females lie like a motherfucker. So if you give me a book and I write, I might start writing a rap. It was a nigga named Jesus, and he was wearing no shoes, and he was saving the fish. Nigga, get it? Like, how do I know my book is not a rap? A story.
I mean, but that's the thing you got to understand and understand, like I said, what are we reading? When you go into the book of Corinthians, right? The book of Corinthians is in the Bible, but the book of Corinthians was a letter written to try to establish church doctrine in Corinth. You understand?
Church
like,
rap.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like you got to understand what you're leading. It's like for real. It's like if I sent you an email. Right, and like you say, when civilization, well, they will have access to email. Let's just say, you know, you had to go sit down again, right? Yeah. So you got a letter, and somebody saw the letter from Kung Fu Hebrew to that boy Birdie, and they used that to establish some sort of religion.
And you talking about, hey, Roger went over here, I had this girl bent over, and I was goddamn. Come on, bro, and they take that as literature.
And then,
spiritual literature.
And then guess what?
Slap the cheeks.
Thou shall clap the cheeks, right? Thou shall make the macaroni and cheese sounds when you. You see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Who knows what they were thinking, bro?
And then nobody knows how many other letters could have possibly been written that they didn't even decide to put in. But once again, y'all, there's something y'all to think about. That ain't nothing. Like I said, nobody is trying to convince you not to believe. My question is, why are y'all not questioning this? You understand what I'm saying? I think the next one is my "What Would Jesus Do" slide. Then we're gonna probably wrap it up.
Put on. Let go.
What would Jesus do? All right. First of all, Jesus would follow the Torah. That's Matthew 5, verses 17 through 21. All right. And that basically
is the key point in the Matthew's 5, 17, 21 that why he would follow the Torah.
Absolutely. There's a part in Matthew 5, 17, verse 21 to show why he followed the Torah. Right? I'll just go ahead and read it. 17, it says, "Do not think that I came to do away with or undo the law of Moses or the writings of the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For I assure and most solemnly say to you, until heaven and earth pass away." Real quick, Bird, what planet are we on? Allegedly?
Earth.
All right. "Until heaven and earth pass away, not the smallest letter or stroke will pass from the law until all things are accomplished. So whoever breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever practices and teaches them, he will be called great in the kingdom of heaven." So what does the church teach? We're not dealing with that Old Testament stuff no more. So it's a question that you got to ask yourself. If you call yourself a Christian, why are you not following the same thing Jesus did? Second thing Jesus did, he wore fringes. That's Numbers 15:38, where it said the children of Israel will put fringes in the border of their garments with a ribbon of blue. And everybody remembers the famous story where the preacher said, "And if I could just touch the hem of his garment." Well, if you actually go into what the hem of his garments were, it would have been actual fringes. So a lot of y'all like to make fun of the Hebrew Israelite brothers for walking around with the fringes on, but that's what Jesus did. Second, he would have followed the Levitical diet. He wouldn't have been eating no pork. He wouldn't have been eating no shrimp Alfredo because he followed the Torah. And in the Torah, you can't eat that stuff. It tells you specifically, it's got to chew the cud, split the hoof. Certain birds, all that stuff, you can't be eating no ostrich burgers, and you can't be eating no turtles and rabbits and all. That's what the Torah says. That's what Jesus followed.
But
so my question, why would you follow something else?
But the secret new covenant and all of this, they can change the rules and they could have a gay pastor now. And
yeah, okay. What day do most people go to church? Sunday. But Jesus would have celebrated the Sabbath like I do, from Friday evening sunset to Saturday evening sunset. That's what Jesus would have done because he followed the Torah. And if you go right now, absolutely, because you got to ask yourself, when did the Jews celebrate the Sabbath? If the Jews celebrate the Sabbath on Friday night, that's when you should be doing, because you're saying you're a follower of Christ. So you should follow Christ. Simple, right? Matthew 15:24. He said he was sent only to the house of Israel, not everybody. Now somebody will say, what about John 3:16? Who said that? Is that a red letter that said that? Did Jesus say? John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not die but have eternal life." That's what John 3:16 says. However, who said that? Jesus didn't say, "For God so loved the world that he sent me." Didn't say that. So it's the third, somebody else speaking. They're giving a narrative about that. So you got to make sure when you start quoting the Bible that you know who's speaking.
Yeah.
Now this is the big one, because what do they say? Matthew 10:34, 10 verse 34 says he was not sent for peace. Now that's the one I want to bring out. I know we got a little bit of time, but this Matthew 10, this is the one where I be saying, and this is just my opinion, right? This is just my opinion. I don't have anything to really, except for the book, but it seems like we're talking about two different Jesuses, because this don't sound like the Jesus that we saw with the sheep and who's hugging all the little children. But let's go to that real quick. All right, I said Matthew 10:34. Okay, I was on Matthew 10. Watch this. Matthew 10 verse 34 says, "Do not think that I have come to bring peace on the earth. I have not come to bring peace but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's enemies will be members of his household." Does that sound like the Jesus that we learn about? I would probably say no. That sounds like a revolutionary. That sounds kind of Malcolmish to me.
That was the line they forgot to remove.
There it is. And then the last, and I'm not going to say the most important one.
33. Hey, 33 got that. But let go. Y'all, hey, the Lord is talking to us in here. 33 coming from the stage. Wait.
Matthew 10,
the age of Jesus left this earth. Oh, yes, Lord. Hey, man, I go to the zoo.
What are they talking about? So watch this. So let's go to the last one. Matthew 10 verses 4 was he commanded disciples not to go amongst the Gentiles. But as soon as Paul came around, what did he say? I was sent to go amongst the Gentiles. So Jesus, when he was alive, he said, don't go amongst the Gentiles. And then he died. And then allegedly he came back in his glorified body and said, hey, Paul, guess what? I know they've been prophesying about me for thousands of years, but you know what? I need you. Not a person who walked with me, not a person who allegedly saw me walk on water, saw me feed the multitude, saw me conduct all the miracles, raise Lazarus from the dead. Not them. Some other guy. The guy who was holding coats while you were stoning Stephen. That guy. That's the guy we need to use, right? So then Paul came in and said, hey, I was sent to go amongst the Gentiles. So my question to anybody out there is, if you call yourself a Christian, why don't you follow what Jesus said he was going to do? And if you look at all these things, and you got to be almost honest about it. If Jesus said out his own mouth that he was sent for the house of Israel only, if you're not the house of Israel, then you might be following somebody who set up something for you not. So I'm gonna let you get the last word in, man, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. What you got?
Well, my last word is just to further deepen the wound, I guess. No diddy.
Oh, no.
But trusting Paul's word, following Paul's lead, by your logic, by thinking of it, it's no different than Derrick Jackson.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Derrick Jackson. What stops Paul from being the latter day, what his name is? Derrick Jackson.
Hey, ladies, you know, you got to let a man do da-da-da-da-da. So, you know, you can't let a man, then when you find out, but he just crushing the whole community.
Oh, the whole time he was goddamn fornicating. Oh, yeah. Man, come on, man. It's deep. It's deep. You know we like here to make you think.
Absolutely. You know how we like to do. But, hey, real quick before we get up out of here, man, we just got one last thing that we got to say, because we know we was talking about a lot of deep topics. Deep topics.
Yeah,
so you got to understand, this ain't just no whatever y'all want to try to classify this show as. We can get deep. We can go talk about different things. So we had a Suda Killer official on here. No argument. We up here talking everything all good. So just know when you tune to this show, ain't no telling what we're gonna talk about. But until next Friday, man, we've been the worst podcast. We gone.